answer? Okay, I'm answering. Hold on. Hold on. I answered.
Hello.
There you are. Hi, everybody. Hi. Welcome in. I got a diamond today. I hope that's, like, a good sign. I hope that's, like, a sign that there will be no scuff. I do want to, like...
Let's hope so.
I do want to apologize for last night. Last night's scuff was absolute fucking shite, and that is the first time in, like, a while that scuff has been that bad. Oops. Like, it was really bad. Nothing was working except for the stream. And, like, I need to know, is my mic good? Did we fix that problem? Because it was...
Well, I currently have the stream muted, but hold on.
Well, you can hear me, though.
Yeah, I can hear you over Discord, and I just popped on the audio for a second. It sounded good.
Okay. Like,
Does anyone else having issues?
Because, you know, like, last night I was cutting out, and I don't even know what that was about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, turns out there was something going on with the internet, because they actually cut it off today to resolve connection issues or some bullshit. Yeah, so I'm assuming it might be related to, like, all the hurricanes and all that, and, like, some shit happened, and that's why everything was crazy last night, and why nothing was working.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. It was down until, I think, like, 4:30 or some shit. By that time, I had taken a nap. I was like, I don't have internet. I'm going to sleep. I can't do any work without internet. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
It sucks, too, because, like, I was getting ready. I haven't touched my YouTube page in, like, a while. So I really need to upload our finale of Borderlands and upload the first couple of, like, schedule the first couple of uploads of this game, Yakuza. So, I was gonna do that, and then Joe was like, "We don't have internet," and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Name the fucking playlist. Be gay, do crime.
Be gay, do crime. Okay. Hello. Hello. Welcome in. Don't forget to get your gems down. We're gonna get started here in a second. I am gonna spread the stream around on Discord a little bit. Also, Darmo is literally 1 hour from my hometown. 1 hour.
Oh, he was? Did he come visit?
He might go visit my sister if she's
Okay.
not in the hospital again.
He'll go visit and then start throwing apples at the doctors so she gets better.
I told him not to expect too much. We've got a Walmart and a Piggly Wiggly. So, like, he could go visit the Piggly Wiggly and be like, I saw a Piggly Wiggly in the wild.
You had one too?
Yes. We used to have two of them, like, a long time ago. It was a small one. It used to be, like, right across from the veterinarian clinic, and it was, like, so tiny in comparison to the other one. But only the large one remains. I'm not really sure what's up with that. I remember as kids, they used to have, like, cook-offs. They would have, like, this summer cook-off thing, and they had this poor employee dress up like the Piggly Wiggly mascot. Yeah, there's a Piggly Wiggly mascot.
Yeah, guess what it is?
It's a pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wearing...
If you guessed iguana,
You're
you have
wrong.
a better imagination. You have a better imagination than most than Piggly Wiggly. That would have been fucking awesome.
Oh god, it really would have been. So, like, it's kind of funny too, because they dress him up as, like, a little chef. And give him, like, a little apron and shit. But the worst part is, like, during the cook-off, he'll make shit like pork chops.
I always thought he was supposed to be a butcher.
I think he is. I think their big thing was, at least back in the day, they were, like, known for their, like, fresh market meats. So I think he is supposed to be a butcher. But he would have, like, this summertime outfit specifically for this cook-off event. And he would come out looking like one of those ready-to-grill dads. Without the socks and sandals. But then they would have him cook shit like fucking pork chops. And I was like,
Cowards, complete the look.
There is something wrong with this.
my thing is just like, yeah, that's kind of disturbing having a pig cook pork chops for people.
Right.
Like, yeah, here, have some of my wife.
One of our 5 children is now your bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, got jade. Nice. I got a diamond today.
Yeah.
I really hope that's like a good sign that I fixed
Timothy
it.
got a D+ on his report card,
be
so
his
now
mother-in-law.
he's a
Okay.
BLT.
Fair point. Fair point, Ferret. Could be his mother-in-law. He's just sick of her shit. Yeah. Had to feed her to the masses.
Hey, I'm a failure now, bitch.
Just slapping these around.
Oh, while you're doing that, I'm gonna go get my get the other part of my dinner, my vegetables.
Go get your dinner. We have to keep you fed in this house.
I had my hot dogs. Now I'm gonna go grab my vegetables.
Oh, you're having veggies? Good job.
Yeah.
Of course.
Frozen
Thank you for
veggies.
stopping by. Like, I'm really proud of you for eating your vegetables. I didn't
Be right
have
back.
I didn't have any to. No, that's not true. I had cauliflower for lunch. I had cauliflower for lunch. Diablo 4, go away. I don't have you. I can't play you, so quit teasing me. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I don't wanna slap it around everywhere. I just wanna throw it out. And a couple of places, and lastly, did I do what I think I did? Yes, I did. I collapsed all the mythical menagerie servers, so I couldn't find them. I was like, where are my friends? They're here. They're here. All right. That's it. That's all I'm spreading around. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and swap to the mainstream. More mainstream. This is dumb. I'm dumb. Ah! I got jump scared by Sega. Don't you be doing this shit again, Yakuza. We had this problem last time. And it didn't wanna come up. And it's doing it again. God damn it. Let's try you. You wanna work. Okay. You're too big though. You're still too big. Jesus. There we go. Sega was named after the merging of the original company named Service Games, so the way it should be pronounced is Serga. Oh,
I am here.
The only crime here is me. Crime of being cute. Aww. I'm cute, supposedly. You got to rock candy.
Yes,
today,
that's right.
son.
100 years dungeon for being too cute.
No. I can't be too cute. I didn't know that was a crime. Anyway, before we start, let me pull the audio. And grab my controller. Where is it? Here it is. Hand cut off. Too cute. Oh, no. But now, how am I going to masturbate? Damn.
Can't use the other hand. Do you know how awkward that is?
I'm not left-handed. Death is also cute. He won't let me wear his cloak, though. I'm sad. With your feet. Yo, you expect me to be that flexible? Bro. I'm weak. Alright.
Oh, so I'm cute and Trix is adorable.
Oh.
Yeah, that feels right.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Alright, so like last time we got to meet Majima.
Trix.
I'm so excited.
What, you forgetting something?
What? Wait, am I?
Yes.
Am I?
Trix.
What am I supposed to be doing?
The Discord.
Oh! Oh, I did forget. I did. That time I forgot. I genuinely forgot. It took me a minute. I got there eventually.
There we go.
Alright. So...
Okay. So, last
You
time
hear
we left off...
Yes, it's because I think Eric's cooking. Yeah, we met Majima and he's really cool and like everybody wants to fuck him. We learned all of this.
Yes.
What the fuck am I supposed to be doing though?
So, oh my god, so many people want to fuck Majima. Go out the door there.
Okay, so I only came in here to save.
Yeah, I mean you can if you want to.
Already did, like. Oh, so fucking cookies. They want you to be making some fucking cookies. He's making dinner. I don't know what
So you're looking for the girl
Ramen.
that's having trouble with the other girls.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta go downstairs and find her.
Alright, alright. We can't run in this establishment because that would be very hooligan behavior.
Yeah, that would be very rude, and you're the manager. Set a good example.
I want to talk to the manager, and this is the manager.
Yeah. Hello, yes, I'm the manager. Is there a problem?
Problem? Oh, well, not anymore, sir. Have a good day.
No problems. In fact, I would like to pay double my tab.
Like, yeah, it's fine. It's cool. We're good.
Yeah, the authentic stuff.
Oh, okay.
From my Tokyo treat boxes.
She is yelling at you.
Yeah. She does that.
Ashes is down by your cooker.
Alright, you just need to talk to that.
I turned, so I have to reset my avatar.
Okay.
I still haven't figured out that issue yet. Alright, so this guy. Hello.
Yep, just talk to that guy.
Hello, sir. You got
Hey, got a minute?
Is that your Majima voice? You have to have one for each of them. Like, it's not the first time I've been peer pressured into fucking another man. I mean. Aw, he's so troubled. Hi, Stoiker. He's not paying attention.
Sorry, hold on. I need to respond to a message that's really good news for me.
Oh, it's really. Oh, I'm so happy you have good news. I'm
Yeah.
happy. We're
Okay,
playing Yakuza,
so-
and last time, oh yeah, we were also bullying Eric, and
So,
he's not making cookies.
So my schedule at work is about to change again?
For the good, though, I'm assuming.
Yeah, at least for tomorrow.
Okay.
So, tomorrow, I get to work back in my office.
Oh, yay!
I'm so happy!
I mean, if it's not remotely, your office is like the next best thing, right?
Yeah.
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 I'm still like confused why they don't want you to like go there, like, bro.
Well, see, here's the thing. We're short-staffed, so they need me to cover in other areas because I'm literally the only one with expertise to do
Hire
so.
more people. I'm sorry. I was rude. That was rude of me.
Death shoved in a cubicle.
Kinda.
Fucking I wish, Sanity. Jesus Christ. I wish I could be in one area.
No, they keep him in a torture chamber.
No, they keep sending me to different places. That's the problem.
Oh, like it's not even the same fucking place?
No, it's not.
What?
I'm working in 3 different places.
That is so crazy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Anyway, enough about my troubles.
But we love you!
It's gonna be a little better tomorrow.
Alright.
The schedule is changing to where I'll have to cover an outpatient at certain hours, but it sounds like they're at least willing to work with me. for them to be better hours that I'm going to like more, and is also going to help the ER and have me working more in the mailbox rather than checking in patients.
I feel like
yes.
that's the bare fucking minimum they could be doing with you
Yeah.
running around like this. That's insane.
Yeah.
I used
Yeah.
to work like for this company called Crossmark, and we would have to like set up displays and stuff for stores. So I did travel from like place to place, and I'm gonna tell you right fucking now, that shit sucked. Especially because they would, for some ungodly reason, they tell you when they hire you, you stay in your location, you stay in your city. That is not what these people did. They'd send me like an hour fucking out to bumfuck nowhere to go into a Bed Bath & Beyond at 5 o'clock in the morning to reset a display for shampoo. Like, bro.
Yeah.
So I no. I don't fucks with that. I couldn't stand working there for much longer. When I got my job at Target, I left immediately, bro.
Sir, sorry about that. What can I do for you?
You called Connie for me. I need to talk to her.
Yes, sir. Of course.
You guys sound sexier than that, Death. Majima's sexy. You gotta put on your sexy voice.
Okay, fine.
I'm messing with you.
What's his deal? Spacing out on the clock.
Oh my god! Oh, that's so perfect though. Like, she looks like a bitch. Hi, sir. Nice work out there tonight.
Please, no! No!
No what?
No! Thanks, Kane-chan.
Oh god. So
You asked for this.
you wanted to talk to me?
He said she was locking horns with Sarako. Where do I start?
Ooh.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Okay, what are you gonna do?
Ooh, she seems catty, so I'm gonna butter her up a little bit, and then
Okay.
lay down the hammer.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, you're awful smoking tonight, babe.
Why you gotta say it
I
like
thought
that?
some new idol singer walked in. Or an angel descended from heaven.
Oh, yeah, that kind of flattery won't get anybody, but you won't get. I
Won't
did
get
say the-
anybody but paying customers anywhere.
For some reason, I did think the sentence was supposed to go that direction. Do the Valley Girl. Oh my god, you guys, no. So last night during Blood on the Clock Tower, for the small amount of time I got to speak with my chat, Sanity was like, I had to use the Valley Girl accent since I was the gossip. I was like, that's a dead giveaway.
Nice.
You guys talk like
Good call,
gossip.
Sanity.
But I was dealing with stupid shit, and I felt bad because like I couldn't. And the worst part was I didn't have access to the scripts anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't have any way of like. I didn't know
Wait,
shit.
you said all your tabs were messed up, but don't you have the Discord app on your computer?
I do, and Discord wasn't working.
Oh,
It
so yeah,
stopped
your
working.
internet was super fucked.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened, but Discord wouldn't connect. All of the tabs that I had open were telling me no internet, no internet, no internet. Discord wouldn't load on my phone. And then but fortunately, my stream on my phone worked. So I did get to read chat off of my phone, but like it was in a weird location, so I kept forgetting to look at it. It was awful. I never want to do that again. Let's never do that again. So close to the debut. I swear to God, if the debut hits stuff,
Right.
I'll cry.
Then I take it back.
What? So it was just flattery, huh? You win me, boss.
Ah, come on. You know I can't tell a lie. Here, I'll buy you dinner sometime soon. You forgive me? How about Subway?
Subway! Really? I love you, sir.
This is idiotic. Time to get to the point.
Yeah.
It's been about a month since you came on here, yeah? How's it going? Think you can take a real go of it at the Grand?
Oh, I think so. The hall's much bigger than the last club I worked at, so it's pretty daunting at first, but I'm totally used to it now. Bro offered Subway. What is wrong with Subway? The only thing wrong with Subway was Jared, and they got rid of him, so.
Yeah, they shot his ass out of a cannon into the sun.
Like, he deserved it. Like, 1000%. And more customers are coming in here specifically to see me.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Not surprising from the #1 gal from the oldest cabarets in the Kita area. Guess I was imagining things then.
Oh, so that's why he brought her on. What do you mean?
Yeah, he's been scalping all the girls from the top clubs.
Ah.
Oh, see, the 1 month mark's actually when I see that most girls up and leave. I was a little worried you might be getting the itch too.
Oh, I have no fear of that. I wouldn't dream of quitting now. That hag. Oh, she just outright calls her a hag. What the fuck? Sakuraga's been trying to play the seniority card on me, but I didn't even notice her.
Damn, girl, hag.
Right!
This is pretty serious.
Chibata, you love my new hair. Thank you.
Shibata!
He's alive! He's here!
Oh my god! Shibata! Are you doing okay, buddy?
Well, he's now coming up with conspiracy theories about the Fae running the internet.
Been a rough couple weeks. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, diamond though. Sorry.
Hey, yeah, you got a diamond. I mean, maybe that's a good sign. Maybe your luck's turning around.
I got one too, and I had a lot of scuff like that last night. I was playing Blood on Clock Tower last night, and it was sad. I missed you. I wish you were here to tell me what to do, because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, Chibata, I can't wait for you to come in and see, like, if you haven't already, see, like, the map and the entire town that Ark and Lasso have created for Blood on the Clock Tower. I think you're gonna love it. And I hope you get to join us soon. Stay strong, man.
We miss you.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't speak for other people, but I definitely do.
Miss you too.
Aww.
Oh, you saw it the first time they used. Awesome.
Yeah, I got to play with it once.
Good job, Sanity.
Thank you, Sanity, for the gift sub.
Ah, don't be like that. Sakuroko's
It's
a vet here.
Sakurako. Sakura.
Sakuraku.
It's kind of like Sakumoppers.
Sakurako.
You just call her Sakumoppers.
She looks after the other girls too. Most love that about her. Try to get along, yeah?
Ugh! I hate nosy types like that. She's got a whole entourage. Quit looking at me like that. I'm doing a bit! You cook your raw man. Cook your raw man. They're mad at you that you're not making cookies. Is that fucking cookie dough still in the fucking fridge that Joe never made? How many months has it been? But whatever. Soon I'll have my own clique and I won't have to deal with them. God, she's so insufferable.
Does she even realize she's getting lectured here? Dense as a door, this one. She's even giving me a little tood.
Tood? She got the tood.
Well, it's the 1980s.
Alright, no, we're gonna have to be more direct with her. It's apparently not sinking in. Like,
Go
I
more
like...
direct. Majima just fucking punches her in the face.
Oh my god, if he does, I'll cry. I don't want him to be that...
No, he won't. This game isn't like... Okay, one thing the characters never do, they never assault women. Like, ever.
Well, that's nice of them.
Yeah.
Mmm, how tasty. You got an amethyst. Hi, watchdog. Alright, but yeah, she clearly is about as dense as, like...
A board?
Yeah, she's pretty dumb. I'm gonna be more direct with her now.
Better make it loud and clear for her.
Like, we were nice to, like, you know, get her comfortable into the conversation, but now we gotta hit her hard.
That ain't right, Kane-chan. You gotta learn to read the room.
Huh? Ow.
Doesn't matter how good you are at your job or how popular you get. Keep snubbing your seniors like that, and you'll wake up one day with nothing but enemies here.
Oh! We also have a sticky ad. It's a stinky ad.
Fucking ads.
Oh, but I could tell y'all a little secret. I could tell y'all a secret. Everyone who has to watch the ad, they don't get the secret. Imagine having ads. Sanity, please. Don't be an elitist scum. Please don't. So the secret is, what if I told you that my model has an alternate costume already? Huh?
Ooh.
Huh? And it's already done. I've already seen it. Oh, uses ad block. Sir! How am I supposed to get my royalties? She's so pissy.
Yeah. Fine by me.
Fine by me. Not like I do this job to make friends with the other girls. Like you.
No, you gotta be whinier than that.
God, whinier. I thought I was already whiny. I get your sub. Oh, well, then it doesn't matter. Why would you? Well, if you sub, then you don't need an ad blocker.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. This is sussy wine. Leave my wine alone. I like to drink my wine, alright? I like to savor
done.
it.
The ads have died.
They have died. To hell with the
killed them.
ads.
I killed them and buried them in a hole in the ground.
When you're not... so it's like a grace period. It gives you time to get your shit together. Chibata ignored me. Oh no. Oh no, Chibata, you can't ignore sanity like that. Why are you running? Bitch, why are you running? Where are you going? The fucking Ash is sprinting across the room. Like it's the fucking Olympics.
Yeah, they're a cat. They have to run around and scream at 3 a.m. for no reason.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom. What doing? Come sit behind me. Oh? You're gonna go scream at Eric again. Okay, fine. I see how it is. She's so loud, y'all. She's so loud, she'll be like, should hear her purring.
You heard him, everyone. Send Chibata all your bandwidth.
Oh. We need to give Chibata all the bandwidth. All of it. Possible girlfriend reveal soon? The gasp! The drama! The suspense!
Ooh.
I'm excited for you. But hi, Yuli. Welcome in. Nice getting the sapphire. Anyway, I was told to be whinier. Mental or internet idea. I take it. Fair enough.
Yeah, you know what?
Gonna say
Send
some
him
drugs.
both.
Drugs and bandwidth. Some weed and some bandwidth. That sounds good.
Yeah. Both of those things.
50 gigabytes of free hotspot. I mean, that's something. It's something.
I mean,
Fight
Shibata
my
is a
knee.
baker.
She's
You
so-
know what he could
she's
do
so
with that. You know what he
she's
could
so
do with that,
salty.
Kush.
Oh, I watched my roommate bake infused butter before. That was cool. I was very sad because they had snackies and I didn't.
And Shibata could get fancy with it.
Drink water, you dehydrated.
Guys,
bitch.
remember your sober friends when you make sussy baked goods. And make sure to label them properly.
Yes.
Yeah, some of your friends don't want to see all the colors of the rainbow.
I really don't. Well, okay, look. So here's the deal. I used to partake. And then my brain that has like this chemical fucking problem that causes my anxiety and my panic disorder said, yeah, so we're going to give you a 50-50 chance of having an absolute panic attack because of how paranoid you get. And It wasn't worth it, guys. It wasn't worth it. I kind of cut myself off. I said, fuck it. It wasn't meant to be.
The weirdest croissants ever? Send me some, Ciabatta.
I want some weird croissants. Croissant? Oh, I miss your sound alerts. Croissant? Your sussy croissant sound alert. I miss it.
Really? That the best you can do? I'm disappointed.
Croissant.
I doubt you'll be
Croissant.
around here long enough to make those enemies then.
That's why I added it. I loved it so much. Croissant? I love it so much. Wait, what's that supposed to mean? Is there a problem with my work?
Nailed it. She's the competitive type. Put her pride on the hook and she'll take the bait. I'm gonna dangle this like a carrot on a stick in front of you. Look, I ain't asking you to be friends with Sakura. Is it a Sakura-ko-chan? In fact, you two make much better rivals.
Oh, yours is from Ro. Nice. I'm always stealing shit from other people too. Rivals? She's like, what? I'm dumb, like a bag of rocks.
Yeah, but
Nut.
not the kind that shanks the other in the back. Compete. Push each other to get better. You'll bring up all the other girls with you.
Gotta speak to him like... I love his managing skills. It's so good.
Yeah. Right now, you're just tripping over each other, and that makes it harder for everybody around you to step up.
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? Are you gonna be a bitch? Or are you gonna take the bait?
Customers, like, may love a gal like that, but I got no use for 'em here. The brand needs girls who are popular with the guys and the girls.
And the ladies. Never forget the ladies.
Yeah.
The
Ladies like
guys
cabaret clubs, too.
and the girls.
Thing is, I know you could be that girl, Kane-chan. That's the reason I'm coming down on you about it like this.
Right, you come down hard, but then you lift them back up. You gotta meet them halfway. You can't be a shitty boss where you just yell at people and leave.
Yeah.
You really think? I'm sorry, sir. I was acting like a spoiled brat. I'll work on being that girl. I'm being more considerate. Please, give me the chance.
There, see, you do get it. I knew you were a keeper, kid.
I hope you'll keep helping me improve when I need it. Whip. She whipped.
Yeah, finally! Took long enough.
Oh my god!
Rips out a
let's-
fart. Wait, what was that waiter's deal? Can't have him zone out like that. Better go have a chat.
What if he has a tummy ache? My corns. I have to fix that one. For some reason, it's like not very loud. My corns. If you don't know what that's from, it's from Bluey. And yes, I like
There
Bluey.
he is.
Sir?
Man!
Right, do you have a tummy ache, bro? Are you good?
Why the long face? Need to take a wicked piss? Go on, go take your wicked dad piss. A nice frothy dad piss.
Mmm. Make... You know it's a
Daddy
good
needs
piss
his
when it
mom.
looks
Ooh,
like
please adopt me.
water.
Mhm.
Oh, God.
Oh, sir, no, I got a letter from my little sister back home.
I'm being given away. Hold on. I gotta set an alarm.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Oh, what?
shovel all the rest of these vegetables into my mouth before
Shove
we
him.
continue
Shove.
on.
Shove, 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 shove.
Mm.
Alright, that's kind of messed up. I probably shouldn't tell you to shove vegetables in your mouth.
Well, where else would I shove them?
I'm not gonna answer that question. Not in our Christian Minecraft server. I'm not gonna tell you what you should do with your cucumbers. Or your eggplants. Or your carrots. You have a bunch of carrots now. Where does your food go, Death? Does it just fall out of your skeleton body?
Look, it's magic. Don't question it.
It's magic, you know. Oh, I got a comm on the way. It's super cute, and it's for spoops.
Nice.
I need some spooky comms. Because we're like day 10 into October, and I haven't given much except for a new profile picture. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was setting an alarm. You gotta watch me. I forget shit. Alright. Let's keep going.
Mental image of death with a bunch of carrots now. Ha, Ciabatta. I'm already banned from the grocery store.
Oh! So you can't go to the Piggly Wiggly.
No.
No Piggly Wiggly for Death.
Yeah, and what's the word?
You're browsing wigs to comp. I need to. Joe has been talking about how I need to get some professionally made wigs because my styling skills are dick. But we can't all be good at everything.
My father's sick. Unfortunately, the doc says he needs to be hospitalized, but the procedure they want to do runs 500,000 yen. He's dying of ligma, sir.
Ligma? Look at my balls.
But I ain't got that kind of cash.
I'm poor. Ooh, Goblin King. Ooh, sexy.
Ooh.
I'm into it.
Sorry to hear that. You try asking the floor manager for an advance.
My guy, I don't know if an advance is gonna be enough to cover that.
It's $5,000.
I mean,
Another emergency a while back already forced me to ask for one. It was something to do with also my other doctor told me that I had ligma. This guy is just an idiot. I'm afraid if I ask again, I'll get canned, especially for so much. You in a habit of breaking mirrors, kid? Here, I'll spot you. What? But sir, I can't. Don't sweat it. You can always replace money.
Ciabatta,
Same
please,
can't
yes.
be said about people. Once they're gone, that's it.
His fucking face, yo!
Sir, my Buckeyes of appreciation can't get any wider. Never look at me as long as you live again. As I recall, you ain't been home back in a while, yeah? Take a few days off, too. Go visit your pops. You know, before he dies.
Predos, no mercy.
Before he dies of ligma. Thank you, sir. By the way, what's ligma? And then he's like, Majima just shoves his head into his nuts. He's like, ligma balls, bitch.
Look at my bows. All you need is the wig, the boots, and the codpiece. I mean, the codpiece is the most important part.
Yeah, I mean, you could do without the wigs or the boot. As long as you have the codpiece, you'd be recognizable. Only thing that matters now is keeping this place running smooth. I'll throw as much money as I need to.
That's
and
how
like
it should be.
He goes over to a customer and he throws like a bunch of stacks of bills at him. Like, spend money, spend more money, do it.
Looks like that's it for my staff troubles. It's about time I checked in on the hall. Sir, there's a problem.
Oh my god, what is it now?
Shit, what now? One of the customers is placing insane orders that he knows, now that he knows he isn't paying for it.
Oh, dude.
We ran all out of ligma.
Boss, we're all out of ligma.
No. Who took all of our supply? I'll kill him.
Oh god.
He went down the line from our top vintage wines to start, and started it on our best whiskeys and brandies. He's already racked up about 4 million worth.
Jesus, dude. Chill. You
How
expected
you
Majima's...
drink that much?
Right. I don't think it's set up with a command. I think
expected
I can set one
Majima's
up
management style to be more stabby.
Well, that's the thing, Chibata. If you haven't have you played Zero before, Chibata?
I thought he did. Good test.
The thing
Good
is,
job.
It has to do more with the reason he's running the Grand than anything.
Start at the priciest and work your way down the list, huh? The real class acts come out in times like these.
Oh, he's
I've only played you've only played Like a Dragon. So you played Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is actually the 7th game in the series.
Jesus. The amount of games. Dude, I can't.
My sickness from Majima is just from the memes. Yeah, you know what? It does make sense. So, Chibata, just for context, Yakuza 0 takes place in a time before Majima was known as the Mad Dog of Shimano.
Indeed, I figure we should stop him, so I ran to you like a little bitch because
No,
I don't
Chibata
like
played Yakuza.
confrontation.
I like a dragon.
Where's he at?
I
Show me.
like a dragon. You would like a dragon, wouldn't you?
Yakuza, I like a dragon.
Alright. Y'all aren't allowed to talk about shit while she's not here.
Yeah, Zero
It
is a prequel.
It is.
It's where like everything started, and like because of that, like some of the plot points don't make sense if you think about it too hard. It's just like Yakuza's Bad Dragon. I wouldn't be surprised if there is an NSFW spin-off called Yakuza Bad Dragon. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. They've made so many spin-offs of Yakuza, it's insane.
A Yakuza, dating sim game. That would be fun.
Honestly, yeah.
I think that would be fun. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, the characters are certainly interesting enough.
Alright, so let's go find this bozo. I'm a bad dragon. Do you need to be spanked? Bad dragons deserve to be
There's
spanked.
hundreds of Death Rule 34. There's hundreds of Grim Reaper Rule 34, but there's none of me.
Damn. Well, it's close enough. I guess I'll have to do some research later.
That the guy? Yeah. Oh, hey. It's this asshole. I'm sorry to interrupt,
Oh.
sir. What, you finally got my drink?
You know some artists.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Eye-Patch Manager. Man, nothing better than booze somebody else's bread, eh? We can fix that. I know some artists. Oh, please do. That's the point you know you've made it, when someone starts drawing NSFW work of you.
I've
won't
made
take
it!
long, I assure you.
I've made it.
I made it!
Made it. I have my first NSFW piece for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's only because it's a request from you, Mr. Manager. I'll be back in a minute, sugar tits. Sir, should I... I'll take care of him. You get back to work. Yes, understood, sir. Shall we then? Lead the way!
This motherfucker came in spineless as shit, and now he's just taking advantage of everything.
Business is really booming, huh? The place was practically dead not that long ago. Amazing how things change.
My knife hand was getting empty anyways. Right.
Oh, wait for it. It's not what you're thinking.
It's never
Why
what
are
I'm
you
thinking.
here, Song Wahan? Don't be prickly, Majima-chan. I just dropped in to see you in action. Part of my job. It was a nice bonus to drink for free, though. If you're gonna come here, can you at least behave? You'll drive off my customers. Sorry about that. Guess I got a little carried away, swinging my big dick around.
God. I'm so glad we don't allow smoking in most places anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be dead, you know, faster than I'm gonna be. That was a fucking long hold, bro.
I heard that what went down tonight, you turned a pickle into a profit. That's my boy, Goro Majima. So Bori's Lord of the Night.
Is this like his boss man?
Kinda.
Oh.
You get a problem customer and turn him into part of the show, then drive sales through the roof by sticking him with a tab. Pretty impressive. I keep telling you, straight and narrow's a good look for you. Don't you agree? Screw that. Who'd live like this on purpose? You mean as a manager as the best cabaret club in town and getting tons of money?
A lot of people.
Gee, I don't know, Majima. Money, standing, fame, you got all three.
Yeah,
Which
wait,
means
what
you
else?
must be beating it up Foreman with the stick.
Oh my god! We're just playing some more Yakuza. How was your stream? How did it go? Oh, Kingdom 2 Crowns. I don't think I've heard of that.
Kingdom Two Crowns. I haven't heard of that either.
Me and Sanity were fighting. Like I forget. Look, if I'm anything, it's good at my job. Okay. I forget I have help now. Hi. Like, yeah, welcome in. You're even on mobile. Wow, you're super talented. Oh my god. He's killing
That means
it.
they're dedicated. They're dedicated to being a good mod.
And making me miserable. You know, Sanity wants to feed me weird shit. Let's be honest. He wants.
Oh, it's a co-op builder kind of action game.
Oh.
That sounds like an interesting concept.
I'll look into it. I'll see what that is. We're doing pretty good. We're just getting back into Yakuza. We met Majima last time we played, and yeah, I'm so excited to get to know him better.
Yakuza 0.
I know. You're just a goober. You're gonna make me eat weird shit and regret my life's choices. Completely understandable.
I decided to entrap Trix inside the Yakuza rabbit hole with the rest of us.
Girl.
She'll never escape.
Hey, got a diamond! Lucky! Ash is here, finally. Finally getting in the chair. Good girl. You gonna take a nap? You gonna spend some time with Mom? Yeah, we'll give you some chin scritches. Some sweet chin scritches. Yeah. She's so sweet. Ashy is so sweet. Aw, she's a good girl. Yee, go take care of yourself.
Yee.
If you need to get some food or some water or take a nap, whatever you gotta do.
Food times.
Yee. Aw, sweet girl. Hi, sweet baby. Careful. Don't slip. She's such a good girl. All right. Car moment. Yes.
I think they meant to type cat.
That's, what do you think a cat is? It's a car. It goes zoom zoom.
You're not wrong.
Ashy in particular has a dirty exhaust pipe.
Yeah.
Very dirty exhaust pipe. Girl, you better quit clawing up that chair.
Erotica, the one guy who's got what everybody in this town wants is the one guy looking for something else. Happiness is a real bitch that way. like my ex-wife. You're awfully chatty today.
Essentially, what
You're
the
sure-
fuck do you want?
You're certainly not going to keep the conversation. Still, I get it. Only natural you'd be unsatisfied.
I love referring to cats as cars.
After all, this is supposed to be your punishment. Now bend over and show me that tight little butt.
Oh!
If you're having too much problem, it'll be a problem for both me and the boss. You get to the point, how much longer until you let me back in the Yakuza, Mr. Owner? Yeah, there's a reason he has that eye patch, Trix.
Well, I imagine he would. I mean, nobody just doesn't have an eye.
Wow, you're a real broken record with that question. Why the big rush to get back to this? I honestly just don't get it.
Oh, no.
Okay, retainer to the 5th Omi Alliance chairman, patriarch of the Sagawa clan.
Listen.
Okay, pause for a second.
I have to pause anyway. Ash is being a little shit. She's on the desk. Baby! No, no. No, no. You too chunky, and I got too much crafting stuff
Death
out.
Applin's just enough that I have to keep looking over and see if that's actually what it says. I'm glad I add some spice for you.
Well, I mean, that's what we need.
Because honestly, with Yakuza, that could very well be what happens.
Why not?
You never fucking know.
Ma'am! Oh my god, you guys. She's... Just lay down! If you're gonna
Is
be
she
on
being
the...
a little shit?
Yeah, she's on the desk. If you're gonna be up here, you have to lay down, BB. There's not enough room up here. I still have crafting stuff out. There's not a lot of space for you right now. I moved the keyboard, but that's the best I can do. God, I lost my mouse, guys. I'm sorry. We can't ever play the game again. Girl, get off of the mouse. I need that. She like sat down. She's like, "Ooh, I'm so comfy," but she laid down like right on my mouse. Can I please? Thank you. I need that. I needs that. And you needs to be a good girl.
Yeah.
You need to be a good girl? Be a good girl.
It ain't for you to get. Here's this month's take. If I can keep this up, you'll have pace for 100 million by next month. Whoa, color me impressed. Cut the bullshit. I get you your mother and you convinced Shimano to let me back in the family. That was the deal. Was it? My memory's a little hazy. I got no patience for jokes on this. Oh, well, show me another 500 mil. I'll have that little chat for you. You Weasley rat bastard.
Oh, can't do that. It'll ruin everything.
What? You gonna hit me or not? Silly question. You can't.
Oh.
Because if you did, you'd be headed right back in that hole. Wouldn't want that after finally seeing daylight again.
How's he gonna get out of this one?
That's how it works in the world you're so bent on getting back to. You think a Yakuza's gonna let a cash cow like you go free? What do you say? Civilian life starting to sound more appealing.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Fuck it. 500 mil, a billion, whatever. I'll make it. If it gets me back in the game, I'll do anything.
Is anything he's dedicated?
Oh ho, anything? You heard me? Even a hit? Which is it then? If it meant getting back in the family, could you kill?
Does he also not kill anybody?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, wow. He's the last person I would expect that.
Relax, kid. Sorry for pushing your buttons, buddy. Just saying, though, in Yakuza life, there's a line you may have to cross.
Wah.
I wanted to see if you were aware of that. Anyway, you're doing a big up job, kiddo. Keep it up, Mr. Manager. I apologize for anyone who got total whiplash from that. Right, forgot one little thing. We've got a hostess we want for another club. What about her? Yeah, I need her over at another club. She starts tomorrow.
What? Dude.
Place needed a shot in the arm. Yuriko's your number one here, right? Figured she'd be perfect for the job.
Sir, you can't just take another man's hostess.
Yeah, Jesus, dude.
And the best one at that, like, bro, what the fuck?
So, while Ad is going, I guess I'll take this chance to explain to you.
Yeah.
The Omi Alliance is actually different from the Tojo clan. They have their own different
Bitch quit.
sects and subsects of Yakuza.
They have sex. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
He did.
it's fine. I kind of expected that from
Brain
you.
goes, hey, they fucking. And I'm like, shut up.
But also, like, okay, so Majima is from the Shimano clan, which is a subsidiary of the Tojo clan. But this guy,
You need a bath, mama.
Sagawa, is the sworn brother of his boss, Shimano. So he's kind of watching over Majima's punishment, and if he delivers enough profits, Sagawa has promised to talk to Shimano to reinstate Majima back into the Shimano clan.
Look at mommy. It's a good girl. Don't fall. Don't fall. You look so angry in these pictures, Ash. Why? You were supposed to be a cutie. Why you look so angry? I have to move Ash.
I already let her know, so you just need to help her pack up her things and don't go letting those profits slide. Yeah, you got another 500 million to go, buddy boy.
Yeah, you just took their best girl.
Whoa, he's
He
pissed.
literally put him on like hard mode.
Yep.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
He
I don't
was a
like that
bastard.
guy. We don't like that guy.
He's a real bastard. Pardon me, sir. We just got a call from Noriko-chan saying she jumped ship to a different club starting tomorrow. Yeah, I just heard it myself. Oh, you knew? Still, couldn't she have given us more notice?
It wasn't her
Losing
fault.
her will have a serious effect on our numbers. Tell me about it. But it's the owner's call. Nothing we can do to stop it. Oh, I see. Still, how do we come back from this? Please, we ain't got time to mope about. Who's the hottest hostess in town we don't already have?
Oh.
At other clubs, from what I've heard, Nozomi-chan from Odyssey is the clear winner. She's a bigger part of why they're our strongest rival. Yeah? Then I guess I'm heading out.
You gonna riz her up?
Sir, where are you? You gotta ask. I'm poaching Nozomi over to our team. Isn't it asking for trouble to headhunt your top competitor's best earner? How would you even go about doing that? The nightlife is a jungle. The strong eat the weak. We trip and the grand will come crumbling down in days. My job is to do what it takes to prevent that. Hold down the fort.
Gotta hire 'em all.
You know, it's funny you say that, considering there's a Pokemon-esque game in Infinite Wealth.
Oh god. Give him the Majima Riz. That's what I'm expecting.
Oh, he is.
I think I just need to go back downstairs, right?
Yeah, you need to go outside the Grand.
God, this is... I can't wait to get outside so we can run.
Yep.
Walking simulator. I don't like it. Also, if the game randomly pauses, it's because Ash has got her foot right on the space bar.
Odysseys and Shofuku. Time to pay them a little visit. Okay, so you can go straight there, or you can explore around for a little bit. Or at least I think you can. But yeah, whenever you're ready to go on with the main story, pink dot.
The best club, and it's next to all this fucking garbage. Seething simulator.
Also, we're no longer in Kamurocho, we're in Sotenbori.
This still looks like shit.
Yeah. There. Huh?
Oh, with the rain boots.
Oh, it's the old master. You are the master of the ale house, the Grand, yes?
Hi.
Gonna put on my best Mr. Miyagi for this guy.
Oh, how fancy. We're getting treated.
Yes, that's me. I knew it. Even the way you walk is refined, guarded. You have no blind spots, despite appearances.
Sir!
I'm sorry, sir. Have we met, you senile old fuck? My name is Samatoro Komochi. Komoki.
Kameki. It's Kameki.
Heir to a certain form of martial arts and its present master. Martial arts. Yes, but lately I felt my techniques slipping. My edge has been dulled. So I left the lights of Tokyo in order to train. Yet even here I find this age of excess. Gluttons and fools gorging on carnal pleasures. Nobody hungers anymore.
Get
That's...
your damn feet off the damn key.
That's a good thing. Back in my day, we had to walk 30 feet up a hill to get to the Walmart. Then I heard talk of a lounge called the Grand. They say it is the home to a most interesting man. Yes, 30 feet up a hill to get to the Walmart.
30 feet.
Up a 90-foot incline. A 90-degree incline.
Cat, what are you doing?
Pardon my asking, but have you visited our establishment? What kind of question of that? Guzzling booze with painted ladies hanging all over you? Bah! What in excess?
Of course I haven't been. Well, then why the hell am I doing this song and dance if you ain't a customer?
Ah, she quit. Oh, she's being naughty.
Besides, what's a washed-up martial artist want with me? And he's like,
Everyone
show
wants
you."
a piece of Majima.
Yeah. The hungry air about you. It is far beyond the men I've fought in recent years. Would you do me the honor of beating the shit out of me?
Oh my god. Are we gonna have to beat up this old man?
Yes, you're going to beat up this old man.
Oh my god!
What? Which honor? Wait, you want me to fight you?
I don't want to beat up an old man.
It's like, oh, you're not just gonna beat him up. You're gonna snap his fucking neck.
Why?
This was one of those that I had to look over and check. the thing. Precisely. A deeper strength sleeps within you. I refuse to let it die, lie dormant and unused any longer. Now snap my fucking neck! You okay upstairs, pal? Fighting you don't earn me one skinny yen's profit. I'm a busy guy.
As in, what's in it for me?
Hide behind your merchant's guise all you like. I know money isn't what feeds you that hunger. Whatever honest life you make a show of living, I can see the demon gnawing at you inside.
Ash, I need my hand back. You can't use it as a pillow. I literally cannot play the game without it.
There's only one way to appease the demon, son. Face the strong in combat, and set loose those fighting instincts struggling to burst free.
Oh my god, cat. Y'all, she's literally like laying her head in the palm of my hand. Like, I pet her a little bit, and she was like, "Oh, I'm laying down now." I'm like, "Excuse you."
She's like, pet more.
"Baby, I need my hand. I'm sorry, but I need that." Especially
But
since
pets.
I'm out of the box now.
And you're telling me you're that strong guy? Oh ho ho, as it happens, I am. Now, do you see the reason to face me? Now that I will, not that I will stay my hand either way, then he just punches Majima in the face.
There's no talking sense into you, is there?
Why are you biting me? No, you cannot have plushie Trix. No! Damn it.
Fine, you win. I was just thinking it's been a while since I really cut loose. Not here, though.
She keeps trying to steal the knitted plushie of me. I'm gonna need her to stop being bad.
Smack her in the butt a little bit.
God, I wish. She likes that shit. Has Majima developed his crawl out of the sewer grate and stab a guy style yet?
Not yet.
Is he about to? Baby.
He might.
Baby, I have to play the game. Can you please? Can you please be a good kitty, not a naughty kitty? Oh, I'm just gonna take this old man to a back alley and beat the shit out of him.
This place should work. Yeah, that's exactly what we're about to do.
Ash, get off of the keyboard. You can't. The buttons don't work now. Here we go.
You are awfully unhesitant in agreeing to this. I am starting to think you keep the true extent of your strength hidden away. You must have your reasons. I know I have mine.
What is this conversation?
But this fist is like the sword. Leave it in its sheath to rust, and you will not be able to draw it when it's needed.
What? What? Why? Oh my god.
What say you?
Quit grabbing me! I'm sorry, she stole my hand again. She keeps reaching over. Like, so Ash is very... She says pet me in a way where she literally physically takes her paws, grabs your hand, pulls it over, and holds it.
Oh.
And then she gives me a little kisses, like a little consolation prize. So every time I put my hand back on the controller, she grabs it again. Oh my gosh, thank you for the follow.
If you're offering, I'm game. Not too big on the idea of open up a can and on a cranky old guy like you, though.
Oh, he gonna open up a can of whoop ass.
Oh, he's gonna do more than that. So remember how I said Majima's thug
Ashley,
style relies
stop
heavily on counters?
grabbing me! I'm not left-handed. I need that hand. I need it. I can't hydrate without it, girl. Why can't you get back in the chair like a good girl? Why are we doing this shit?
Boy, cast aside such worries. Even dull, the edge left in me should prove sufficient to handle a pup like you. Show me everything
hydrate,
you've got.
by the way. What?
Okay,
Where did these women come from?
They heard you were beating the shit out of the old man, and now they want to go on. Thug style incorporates a number of merciless attacks. One of them is the eye poke attack. If you land an eye poke attack, the enemy will turn their back to you in pain. Show Kamaki your thug style moves.
Poke him in the eye. Oh my god, not only are we beating the shit out of this old man, we're poking him in the eyeballs. Oh, bless you.
Why are the women cheering? Because again, they wanted to watch you beat the shit out of him. It's XXY. Try again. XXY. Eye poke. Do it again.
Fuck. Yeah, I'm fighting two battles right now.
You can't just tell Ash to go away.
No, that's mean. I can't be mean to her. She's Phoebe. Get up. Get up, old man.
There you go. One of the special moves of the thug action is called a heat action called Essence of Choking.
Jesus Christ.
The heat action triggers when an enemy attacks you or when you circle around behind them. Show Kamaki your thug style special move. Okay, so just wait for him to attack and then press Y. Or get behind him. That works too.
Well, you weren't kidding.
I told you! Your training is now complete. Attack Kamaki with everything you got. You can snap his neck multiple times. He will not die.
Why?
Back.
What is his neck made of? Oh, I get it. You poke him in the eyes to make him turn his back, and then you can break his neck.
Or you can give him the most savage knee of all time while he's on the ground.
God, that was so vicious.
You broke his neck 3 times.
I feel like an awful person.
Oh, he should be dead.
Glad to know I still have an eye for talent. You will surpass me one day. I can promise you that.
I beat the sir, I broke your neck 3 times. What the fuck do you mean I'll surpass you one day?
Hey, Gramps. Just what kind of life you been living? I snapped your neck 3 times and you're not dead. Oh no, I'm absolutely dead. There's my corpse behind you. This is just my ghost.
I am a ghost.
I am haunting you now because you murdered me. You wanted me to fight you.
Right.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you escape my haunting. Becky, by the way, thanks for adjusting my neck. It was killing me.
Majima the chiropractor.
Yeah.
Why, cat? Why?
One of unarmed combat. Okay.
Sorry,
And
that
you
was
think
her.
I'm gonna get stronger? Much. Even now, I see there's been a change in you.
I have no problem
A
breaking
murder
the
charge
necks
has
of-
been added to your I spar. I spar with you and regain the strength I once
she
had.
pulled up the
You
game
spar with
bar.
me and gain strength you've never known.
Ash,
A
you pulled
mutual
up, like,
benefit for us
You
both.
took a
Is it not?
screenshot. You pulled up all my achievements. Oh my god, she brought up like the whole Xbox fucking thing.
Okay,
She's so
okay.
mad.
Ashley needs to go now.
She does, baby. You have to move. I'm sorry.
You can
but
just pick her up and put her on the ground.
that's
You know,
so mean. She doesn't like being picked up,
you need to do it.
baby.
Because gently telling her is not not doing anything, Trix. I'm sorry. You need to be a little mean.
I don't know how to be mean. She's beating the shit out of me with her tail. She's so frustrated because every time I move the mouse, it like slides. The wire slides out from under her, and she gets so pissed about it. Baby, if you go on the chair, you'll be more comfortable. But she's like, no, I must be right up your ass. I demand cuddles. Come on. Come on, you want to get down?
I will be walking about the city for a while. You shall see me again when the time comes.
Hey. Hey, Ashy. Hey, Ashy. You want to get down? Huh?
Joe, please come here and take the cat. Please, Joe, if you're watching, please just come here and take the cat.
Wait, I think I know what she might want. I think she wants in the window. If Mommy picks you up and put you in a window, you'd be okay? You'd be okay with that? Because you can't jump over there by yourself. You're too dumb. Or too weak. I don't know which one it is. She's, like, allergic to jumps that are longer than, like, 2 feet. Baby sling! I gotta get you a baby sling. Alright, give me 1 second. I'll scooch her over. Come on. Hold on, Mama. Hold on, you want to go in the window? Come here. Come here. Come here. In the window? Yeah? Yeah? You gonna cry at me? Yeah. Come here. You're okay. You're okay. Get in. Go on. You are a big girl. Whew. You are a big baby. She didn't like it, but she actually seems pretty happy to be over there.
Okay.
I did knock all of my dice jar over, though.
Oh.
Uh,
Oh no. The dice goblin has lost all of their dice.
now you're in the window. You like that? You like it? You're in the window? I gotta pick all my fucking dice up now. She a big car, guys. She got big peats. You should hear her motor purr. It's very loud. Very aggressive.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We're
yes. All right. I'll be waiting, I guess, to readjust your neck again.
good.
Now, if there are no more weird old guys to interrupt me, I gotta go pluck Nozomi from the Odyssey roster. Odyssey's on this street. I should take a lap around town and see what kind of info I can dig up on the Odyssey Club from people living in it. So, yeah.
People live in the club?
No, I mean people who live in the town. So you can just go around
I
and
can
anyone...
fish?
Yeah, you can fish.
You didn't tell me I could fish.
Yeah, go ahead. Fish in the polluted river.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're fishing.
Yeah, fish. There are all the fish. Catch the fish.
I don't know if I need to be, like, in front of the fish. Or on top of the fish.
You did it wrong.
What am I supposed to do?
Okay, cast it out near one of them again.
Okay.
Watch the bobber. See that little red part?
Yeah, I see it.
When the fish turns red, he's locked onto the hook. And that means he's going after your bait. Okay, here we go. Watch the no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
When the red part goes down to the water, then hook the fish.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
impatient. I'm sorry, I don't like fishing for that reason.
Okay. Wait for it. You'll get interested in a second. It's only because you have a shitty hook, right? A shitty rod right now.
Damn. Why they always gotta give you a shitty rod? Really, bro?
Honestly, you might want to start with the smaller ones.
He just fucking ignored me. He's just like,
Yeah.
This is a fish. It looks like a peanut.
Let's go ahead and cast it.
It's a peanut.
I think that should be small enough for you to actually get.
Really? He disappeared.
Or... No, you're right on top of him is the thing.
Oh.
You can't see him because of the ripples in the water.
Oh. But
Yeah,
little,
there he is. See?
There's my little peanut.
Yeah.
Is this gonna be like a
Now.
goldfish?
I don't know what it could... It could be a boot. Who knows?
Oh. Tasty. Boot soup. Are you happy you're over there
There we
now?
go. Okay, wait.
Wait.
You'll feel a rumble on the controller, too. There you go.
What? I felt
Okay.
the rumble.
When you feel the rumble, you need to hit it immediately.
I did. I swear. I swear to you.
Okay, let's try again.
I'll try it again. We're trying again. Like, I also don't like the damn minigame for fishing in Stardew either.
Yeah.
It's awful.
This one's actually super easy.
Why am I struggling?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know, but I'm having a bad time of it. What are you doing? Does it smell good? Does outside smell good? Yeah, she was a little awkward about being picked up because she just doesn't like it, but then when she realized where I was putting her, she was like, oh, I'm okay. But she did kick over my entire dice jar in the process.
Yeah.
All my D&D dice are on the floor.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit about your hook.
Yeah, he doesn't like me. Well, fuck you, man. I don't like you either, bro. We'll try another peanut. My question is, like, if something...
But as soon as, like, that red part dips into the water, that's when you need to hit the A button. There we go. Okay. Wait for it. Soon as it touches the water. Now!
Okay.
There you go! Press X! Why? Congrats.
It's a fish!
You got a sweet fish.
No, don't you come back over here. No! Oh, she made a jump. It was not clean. Ash, no! I don't know if y'all heard her do that. She went, skirt! It was bad.
Did not hear it.
Oh, it was
at all.
bad. Ooh, that just means I have a nice mic. What do you know about the Odyssey?
What do you know about the Odyssey Club? Tell me!
I don't think he likes me. Oh God. What do you know? I gotta be like Batman about it too. I gotta be like, what do you know? Tell me.
What do you know about Odyssey's top girl? Tell me! I think you need some bait or something to catch
Bro,
this thing.
whatever.
You
I
definitely
caught
don't have
one
any bait.
fish. I'm happy enough.
Yeah.
I'm happy with my one fish. Alright, I did it. Where is she?
Where is she?
I can't. I laugh so hard. I got attacked by hooligans. He's gonna punch them all in the face. It's fine. Oh, it's
Yes, that's the next trick. Do it. Do it. Murder them.
oh, off of my ass, bro.
Yeah, just wait for him to attack and then hit the Y button. It's a counter as well.
Oh, my hands are all sweaty. Sweaty like spaghetti. I'm something? Oh, so kind of you to say. Where will I find people to talk to? Lady, you look suspicious. Are you gonna try? She wants to riz me up. Oh no! What the fuck is this place? Girl, I'm not interested. I like men.
Yeah, specifically men named Kiryu.
I like boys, okay? Quimbus tree! Oh, this is this place.
Yeah, you're gonna go straight there.
I mean, we fished. What else is there to do? Why am I getting
Explore
called?
Sodenbury. Get familiar with the map.
I am getting a call. You guys remember that time I told y'all that guy called me and it gave me like really intense anxiety?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just tried to call me again.
Oh, well, I hope he's watching, and I can say, fuck you, dude.
I literally posted everywhere that I was live. Like, what? Why are you? Why are you bugging me, bro?
Yeah.
I need to save. That was a very triumphant fishing. We did so good at fishing. Ugh. Ash, I'm covered. Hey, are you live right now? I swear to God, my dude.
Yeah, fuck off. Buckle
Yeah,
up,
you
kid,
know
because
what
I'm
the-
taking you to see the finest ladies in town. It's got to offer. My treat.
So you guys know what the craziest thing is like, I didn't block him initially because I was like, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to set the boundary. I'm going to be like, hey, please don't call me. It gives me anxiety.
Mhm.
And he's calling me. So I think I'm gonna block him.
Yeah,
I
block
think
him.
I am.
Fuck the guy. Fuck them.
I'm actually trying to control my breathing right now. Like, bro, is this?
You're okay.
I told
You're
you.
okay.
This is why I'm sweaty. This is exactly why I'm fucking sweaty. I hate this. I hate this. Why are like my physical like symptoms of my anxiety being disgusting? Like, it could have been anything else.
I mean, it's fine. It's just a reaction.
I don't like being sweaty. I don't like
Okay.
being moist.
Most people don't.
Ugh. I don't want to feel like some kid's slime. Ugh. Gross. It's okay. It's okay. Cause it's happened before. It's not as bad this time. It's
Yeah.
annoying more than anything at this point. Cause it's like, hey, I set a clear boundary. Why are we ignoring that? Why
Yeah.
are we pretending like that didn't happen? That's the part I'm upset about. It's okay. It was good timing for a break, an ad break too.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be alright. I'm gonna be alright. It's gonna be
Well, while we tell this guy to fuck off.
alright. Yeah. So like, was I supposed to come across these people or?
I mean, they can give you some info.
All right, cool. Cause that's what I'm
Yeah.
looking for, right?
You mean it? I always wanted to try Odyssey. I hear the chicks there are ridiculously hot,
If
and I'm a virgin.
If I didn't know any better, I would have thought Odyssey was a drug.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there once. Can't say it was my scene.
Wow, pussy.
Ooh, wow. Really? But it's super popular, and all the magazines give it rave reviews, so why's that?
Money!
Well, yeah, the girls are cute, and the service there is top-notch. It certainly lives up to the hype.
I love how we're just creepily eavesdropping in the background.
Yeah, we're just standing there, just like, keep going.
I'm listening.
So, where'd they go wrong, huh? It's the clientele. All the other guys there were these big shot businessmen and A-listers.
Oh.
Old man who couldn't light their cigs with a wad of bills if they wanted.
What do you want to bet that this place just lets the people spending the most money be absolute fucking dick trash and it just ruins the whole vibe for everybody?
That could be, because one of the rules of cabaret clubs is to, like, because, like, the girls who work there, their job is literally just to have fun.
Right.
So if they have to deal with shitty customers constantly, then it kind of kills morale and they aren't having fun, which means the customers aren't having fun.
Right. So, like, by him coming, like, he's really doing her a solid. He's gonna come rescue her from this garbage-ass place.
And the girls pick up the scent of cash like sharks. A couple nobodies like us go in there and we'll be drowning in our sorrows as we get passed right up.
I mean, if...
Oh, so that's what they're worried about. They're worried about them, I guess, being gold diggers?
My guy, what the fuck do you expect out of a hostess spot?
Dude, it's a cabaret club. Their job is for people to pay them to have fun with them.
Right.
Like, that's the whole point. Like, okay, to everyone who is listening, don't go to, like, a strip joint or a Hooters and look for a girlfriend. Why the fuck would you do that?
They're just trying to work, my guy.
Yeah.
Don't be that dude.
Yeah.
Don't be that
They're
guy.
just trying to work. Have your fun, have a good time, but remember, she just works there. All right?
It's her job.
Yeah, it's her job. Oh, that's really how it is there? Too rich for my blood. How about the Grand then? That place any easier for fresh meat like me?
Man, Hooters wings are gross.
Hooters wings are okay. I don't know why people rave about them. It's mostly and well, actually, no, I do. It's mostly because of the titties, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we can get away with subpar wings if we put boobs in your face.
Yeah. Yeah, if you put titties in people's face, you can get away with pretty much anything.
I have eaten at Hooters before.
Yeah.
It was funny. I was just talking to Darmo about like some of the stuff I used to do back at home, like for fun. So
Yeah.
like about an hour away was like the city, and I used to go to like the boardwalk, which is like a sad excuse of a boardwalk. It's more like a little outdoor strip mall connected to the Red River.
Okay.
Right. They call it the boardwalk, and there's a Hooters there. And when you're there out late, a lot of the places will go ahead and close. Well, Hooters is one of the ones that stays open later. And when
Yeah.
you're hungry and you ain't got nowhere else to go, you go to Hooters. So, like, me and my friend, we're like two chicks, right? Or, well,
Yeah.
We're femme presenting or whatever. So, we go in there, and, like, the girls, it's like they're relieved, bro. It's like they're relieved. They're like, oh, you guys are out late? We're just like, yeah, we're just killing time. Don't want to go home.
Probably because they didn't get some late night creeper coming in to be Mr. Grabass.
Yeah, so they would sit down with us and just hang out. Like, we ate.
Yeah.
We shared our food with them. It was all good. It was just like a vibe. It was really cool. And like nobody got felt up. It was a good time, you know?
Yeah.
You know? We tipped them really well.
Yeah.
You know. Because they're still gunning for tips. You know, even if the attention they're giving us is more of a friendly demeanor, they are still gunning for tips. So, you know.
Of course they are. Like I said, it's their job.
But they were all really cool. But what if I want to grab Death's butt? His bony butt? I mean, if he's in
I mean, you're gonna get nothing but hard bone, my friend.
you're gonna get a hard bone. Yeah, the girls are fine. I think the food is mid. Which is really unfortunate, because I do feel like they could probably do better, but they kind of just rely on the sensationalism of the premise of the restaurant to kind of just sell the food, and that's disappointing.
Drink water.
You know what
you
restaurant does
dehydrated
both? Twin Peaks.
I've heard about Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
6! Oh, that's a little cringy.
Yeah.
That's a little cringy. But girls do like kids, though. They do like the little kids. They're not creepy about it. They're just like, oh, look at the little babies. I'm like, oh, we love kids. They're so cute. But at the same time, like, the mentality of sometimes the adults that take their kids to these places is, like, really gross.
I've like, I had never heard of Twin Peaks before, like, and this was years ago. This was, like, way before I even started streaming. I was, like, in my mid-20s. I had just moved out on my own, and, like, I was looking for a place to eat out that I hadn't, eaten at before, and I saw this place called Twin Peaks, and I was like, oh,
It's a restaurant.
Okay, sure. Probably like some steakhouse kind of place, whatever. So I go in there, and I notice, like, wow, there's a lot of pretty girls on staff. And then I get in, and, like, yeah, some of the girls were, like, super friendly. They were really hot, wearing the short shorts and the crop tops, and I was like, oh, this is just a fancier Hooters.
I get it.
But honestly, like, the food there, pretty good.
Okay then. Okay, Twin Peaks, I see you. They took you to the back and gave you a Hooters shirt. Of course they did, because, like, kids are king at Hooters. It's so weird, but at the same time, it's, like, it's kind of cute. It's kind of sweet. Because, like, you don't have to sexualize
the kids are Captain
girls.
Grabass.
Right. You don't have to, honestly, they're wearing t-shirts and shorts. It's really not that slutty.
Yeah.
Like, they're more covered than people at the beach. So, like, they like kids, bro. They just like hanging out with the kids. I'm like, oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. Joe was telling me about this time that they went to Hooters. His brother Dan they were a lot younger, and his brother Dan was, like, really young. And they like completely fawned over him because like, you need a baby, you need a baby. And I was like, well, you know, as long as
Hell
it's not
yeah,
creepy,
sanity.
whatever. I
Hell
question
yeah.
the morals of the parents more than anything, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think
there are some
maybe
people
it was.
who do just go eat there, though. Like, there are some
Yeah.
people who just taking our
There-
family to go eat at Hooters because we like
Yeah.
their wings for some reason.
Yeah, there are honestly just some people who just really like Hooters food. They don't go there for the titties. They just like, yeah, I really like the food here.
I don't get it
Like,
because I think
and they
it's mediocre, but
legitimately mean
whatever.
that.
Whatever. So, like, we all have different tastes. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
That's how you found out you like butts. I mean, butts are nice.
yeah. You know what, Sandy? I'm 100% in agreement with you. People who say they prefer titties over ass are lying to themselves.
Gentlemen, I present to you thighs.
You know what? That is a good compromise. I think we can find world peace if everybody, you know, just agrees that thighs are great.
Oh, you guys are gonna go crazy for this new model because it has everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trifecta of perfection. I'm just gonna say it. Nobody is going to need anything. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you got titties, you got ass, you got thighs." Oh, okay, all right. Yeah.
Yo, sign me up for a life subscription.
I think the longest you can subscribe is a year. Midriff knee. I got the tummy out in the alternate costume. Just saying.
I mean, they can't see you staring at their butt.
It's soft. I'm very soft. You're unqualified for a lifetime subscription. But I'm excited. I'm very excited. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so happy.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I still got work to do. And I'm kind of like, it's like, in a thing with my Halloween costume, and I'm like, I need to finish this bitch so I can move on. Oh, okay. All right. So we gotta talk about these two pussies who are just cheap.
Yeah, we need to get through this conversation.
They're just cheap and weak.
Oh, the Grand's great. Fantastic, actually. That's where I was gonna suggest anyway. Let's head out. Oh, hey, it's the manager of the Grand. Hey, we think your place is great. Can we get a discount? So, Odyssey's a class act, but it's making everybody but the rich and wrinkled steer clear. If they don't get some new blood, they'll be screwed sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Ugh, juicy tidbits. I'm here for the gossip. I was a bad gossip last night, but I'm soft blocked here.
Yeah, that's off the map.
I want to go places. I want to meet people.
Whoop.
That street looked ominous. What? Is it really that hard of a decision, my guy? They're drinks.
He's trying to decide which one he wants. He's only got 100 yen, Trix.
Jesus, just get the generic Red Bull and call it a day.
But it's late.
Yeah,
He
that's
can't
why
have
he needs
caffeine
it.
after 6.
He has to.
That
Oh,
upsets his tummy.
I'm not paying attention to the map again. I tried to go somewhere I couldn't go. Oh no, not your tummy. By the way, what was it? Anxiety that was fucking up your stomach, or like, what was the deal?
I don't know. Like, I just had like the worst stomach ache,
Aw.
and it might have been the anxiety of like just my entire past month, and like this entire week just has been super stressful. What with being tight on cash and wondering like the entire time, am I gonna have enough gas to get back and forth to work before I get paid again? And like I was constantly worrying about like, Jesus Christ, am I gonna have to like ask my coworkers for like $5 like some asshole?
Well, like I told you, if you ever need me to spot you on gas, Like, just tell me. You gotta.
I know, but
you gotta
like,
get to work, bro. And
Yeah,
once you get
because
paid,
of-
you're welcome to pay me back. I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna like, because I know you're like that. You're like, no, I must give you money back.
yes.
What? I didn't know you were a goon.
Well, now you're gonna punch him like a goon.
Well,
Punch
if-
him like like a fucking parasocial goon in a VTubers chat. Fuck his shit up, Trix.
whack him.
You just got hit with the fan hammer, motherfucker.
Yo, not my barrel. You made me knock my barrel down. Fuck you, asshole. I want my barrel.
Power attack him with it. There you go.
Yay!
How that
Violence!
taste, bitch.
I like violence. Yay!
Yeah.
Yay! Beat him up.
I don't believe it.
All 'cause he was,
Tiny
like,
dick
in the damn
energy
way.
can't stand up to his alpha dilf prowess.
And the worst thing is I genuinely tried to avoid him.
Yeah,
I
and then you
genuinely
just
tried
kind of
to-
slightly bumped into him and he was like, hey, you piece of shit, I'm gonna kill you.
Like, really, dude? God.
And then after you beat the shit out of him, he's like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Alright.
Yeah, I can't take it.
There's gotta be more people, like, around here talking shit about this place.
Yeah, probably.
There's all these people around, but none of them are talking.
You might want to bring up the map to get a whole of like of Sotenbori.
Oh, you got a kitty. Got the moon kitty. Map. That's this button.
Yep. Zoom out a little bit. So Sotenbori is
It's not actually that big.
divided into. Yeah, it's not that big. That's the thing about Yakuza.
Yeah,
You
she
will
got some
either
park.
have like 1, 2, possibly 3 small maps to go
Nope.
around. Oh god,
Nope.
it's
Nope.
oh god, it's Jincho's or not a Jincho.
Nope.
It's Sotenbori's version of
What's
Mr.
up?
Shakedown.
It's cool. I completely understand. You don't have to apologize for me. Shit happens. Life happens. I wanted to go to the park. But that fucker was there.
You can go down this alley and still get there.
Okay.
There should be an entrance into there. It's actually right by the club.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking, like,
So,
maybe there might be people at the park.
Yeah. Yeah,
like-
just snoop around, see if you can find some people talking or with people with like
Can we
a little
pee?
box above their head.
Oh, I wanted to pee.
Oh, he's over. Oh, he's over there. Don't let him see you.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Oh, that's it. Start a fight with someone else. He'll despawn. Start a fight with those assholes.
Okay, okay. Alright, good. Woo! Ah, 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 ah.
Yeah, pick up the bike, beat the shit out of them.
You see all that blood? Holy shit!
Yeah, that man is dead. Okay, take a quick look around. Let's make sure he despawned. Look around, look around.
And his name is John C.
Doesn't look like he is. Okay, I think that worked.
Holy balls! He was making my butthole clench. I don't like that man. He scares
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, just wait until you can get a ton of. Actually, that will be coming up soon. The way we can cheese him.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh,
Hi.
and that guy with the clown makeup, you can find him in Sotenbori and get the same kind of stuff for Majima.
Oh, okay. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, I wanted
Hey.
to cause property damage. How dare you?
Oh my god!
Try using a heat action when one of them's on the ground.
Oh.
Like, not with the, well, not with the bike, but when one of them is lying on the ground and you've got a level 3. Okay, he's down.
Wow.
Yeah.
These fuckers are weak.
Yeah, they kind of are. They're kind of pussy bitches in the beginning.
Get out of here, bitches.
This guy's something
This guy
else.
has a pupperino. I want to pet your puppy, sir.
You can't.
No! That should be a crime.
I'm sorry.
You should-
RGG Studios thought of everything but the puppy.
Everything should be petable. Oh, God damn it, guys. I'm trying to find people to eavesdrop on.
There's none in the park. You've been around so many times. Okay, try the heat action while he's on the ground. There you go. Yo, bam! Did you see that look on his face?
He looked like he was gonna cum his pants.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, he looked like he was orgasming from that.
He was really into it. Yeah.
We saw Majima's O face.
Ah! We've had enough. We're sorry. Well, you suck. Okay. All right. Well.
Yeah, you haven't searched anywhere down that street.
What?
We immediately got interrupted by an old man who wanted us to punch him in the face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you do need to worry about her. She's been in and out of the hospital lately.
Yeah.
Everyone worry about her.
Take care of yourself, Clove. Maybe don't have Majima knee you in the rib cage and collapse your ribs. Maybe that might be bad right now.
I still can't believe Darmo is literally an hour away from where I used to live. I can't believe that. Like, that's so wild to me.
Yeah.
Because what if I should have never left. I should have stayed there so I could have met Darmo.
Yeah, so you could have met Darmo face to face. And have him twerk at you for real instead of just an emoji.
Right.
Look at
Oh,
the
we didn't get to see the jizz face that time.
Yeah. But yeah, did you see the man cough up blood when you hit him? We definitely collapsed one of his lungs.
What oh yeah.
7 months hospital.
You have to go back tomorrow. Yeah, I heard you had to go back tomorrow. Alright, we can't go that way. Map.
No, you can go that way.
Oh wait.
That's up the bridge.
Oh.
Yeah.
It looked like it just disconnected and that there was nowhere to go from there. Oh,
Yeah.
You're someone to talk to.
Ooh, yeah, there we go, see? Oh, that's Matsu, one of our barkers. He's had inside intel on the other clubs. Okay.
My man, yeah! Get
My
him!
man, Matsu-san, business been good?
I was thinking about jumping.
Majima, new week is a new wallet, Majima-han. You?
I thought he was gonna jump.
Doing fine, thanks to you. Long as you keep the customers coming, I can't complain.
He must pay him real nice.
Yeah. Sit on that humility shit and rotate. You know the Grand's only shooting up because of you.
Oh, he's a small
It's
talker.
been, 2 years? The Grand's blasting off like a damn rocket ship the day you turned up in Sultan.
Honestly, it's kind of sad he wants to go back to the Yakuza because, like, literally it feels like this is what he was meant to be.
It kind of does, actually. I've seen some salesmen in my time, but I ain't never seen one like you. What do you do before this, Majima-han?
You don't want to know
stabbed
the answer
people.
to that. Hey, but, like, think about it, though. Like, how bad are they going to feel when he leaves? Like, how sad is everyone gonna be? Also, like,
Well, we don't fucking know. Because it's never mentioned.
Like, also, like, who's gonna take his place? No one can take his place.
No one does. The grand closes.
Oh, that's awful.
No rear view mirrors on rocket ships, Matsu-san. Let me ask you a question instead.
Ew, a question. I mustache you a question.
Now, what you got, boss? I'm a fucking information machine. Need the scoop on Odyssey. How they doing lately? Oh yeah, piece of shit.
Oh, that fucking
Odyssey,
place.
well... Not good. Yeah, they're doing just fine, don't get me wrong. Only guys in town that can keep pace with you and the Grand. It's just... Just what? Less art or matter or some shit. Well, to tell you straight, it seems like they hit the ceiling. Been a while since they got any new blood. The regulars keep them afloat, of course, but that's a red flag.
Oh, he already called that.
Yeah. The floor manager's about to get canned. Between you and me, Yamatahan, the manager, is looking to shake things up. I heard there's all sorts of changes going down over there. Wow, pink slipping the floor manager before profits even start to dip? That's pretty bold. But I get the picture. Thanks for the tip, friend. So Odyssey's manager is starting to panic. Music to my ears.
Oh yeah, all he has to do is riz her up with like, hey, we're not going through all this bullshit. You should come
Yeah.
to us instead. Oh yeah,
The
Death is
accents
Death is
avoid them
great
so-
at doing voices.
Thank you. I appreciate. I like doing funny voices.
Funny voices are great. That's why I love doing Love Ghosty. I did like little voices for everybody.
My favorite one is my himbo voice.
Oh god. Darmo's here! Hi Darmo.
Darmo, we were just talking about you.
He's gonna go check out the Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah. Yeah, go shop at the Piggly Wiggly for us. Buy all the bacon. Just
the
all of
bacon.
it.
All of the bacon. Ooh, ooh. This looks like a club I'd be into.
Yeah.
They gonna tell me my fortune?
If that fortune is titties.
Well, yeah, they can be naked while they give me my fortune. Oh, I don't like the creepy clown man. No, don't like that. Dude, for real?
Men in
I
black.
can't
Amber,
even
I have
fucking
wandered in circles for the
window
last
shop
4 hours.
anymore.
There is now a hole in the rug and I will blame someone else for it.
And
God. Rip.
that that fucker is dead.
There's no way he's not.
Yeah. Trix, you just killed one of the G-men.
Whoopsies. Yeah, like, it's a thing. Like, not a lot of people have actually experienced Piggly Wigglies. It's kind of like a fable to them. Like something they hear about but never see for themselves.
Oh, there is an arcade in this city.
Oh,
it's right there.
Sega. I'm very surprised that the Piggly Wiggly is still going, though.
Let's see. That's the same game you played last time, but I think they've also got Outrunner and the claw machines.
Oh,
Yeah.
they do have Outrunner.
Yeah, you can play Outrunner. And you can also play the claw machines.
I like the claw machine. Oh, they got
I'm Trix and I'm a savage killing the G-Man. I also love bacon.
Oh my god, they're so
Look at him
fucking
just totally
dramatic.
getting into it.
You're so fucking dramatic with this shit. Oh my god, I have played this game before. It was
Yeah?
a really long time ago.
Yeah, I know. Like that's one of
Oh.
the fun parts about Yakuza games is they'll just straight up put fucking arcade cabinets in here.
Get ready.
I cannot remember how to play. Okay, to be fair, the controls are probably different because it's a controller.
Yeah. It's a controller and not a steering wheel.
Am I allowed to be on the other side of the road?
Who knows?
I can't remember. Look, I'm not even in it to win. I'm just in it for the experience because it's been a really long time. Look at all them little guys out there with their little paragliders. What do you call those things? They're not paragliders.
Vroom.
Vroom,
Yeah, we got the
vroom.
zoomies.
Yeah, the zoomies! Got the zoomies. I'm zooming. There's an ad break. No one's missing anything. Let's be honest.
Oh no, 1 second. Oh god, game over.
Game over.
You didn't impress your chick, Trix.
It didn't impress my bitch. Vroom.
You didn't get on the high score list. Oh, that's terrible.
It's fine. It's fine, guys. It's fine. Wait, how the fuck do I even get out of here?
I think you can check the controls there. It should tell you. Yeah, there you go.
It told me the keyboard control. I mean, it's a good thing I have a keyboard handy. All right, I have one of those.
Also tells you. It also tells you the controls by the by its side, like for the controller.
Dad, there's axolotls.
Get one of the axolotls.
They're
You
so
can do that.
dapper.
Okay, you got 3 chances.
Dad, look at the angry one with the mustache. Please, please, please,
It's the
please,
rich-
please, please,
it's the rich
please,
axolotl.
Please, please, please. Please,
Oh.
please, please,
Oh,
please.
no. You got 2 more chances, and also you've got hundreds of thousands of yen. And this only costs 300 yen.
Alright, can I still... Is he still a possibility? He's so close to the edge.
He should be,
And I'm about to break.
okay. Stop. Tap it.
I'm tapping, I'm tapping. Come on. Come on, little buddy. Get in the tube. Get in... Why are you like this?
No. This is good. This is good. He's on his side now.
Okay.
Okay.
We need to scoop him.
Get right over him, and then just make sure, okay. Then make sure it's right over his tummy. There we go.
Oh, please. Please. I need him. He has a mustachio. Yes. Hug him. Hug him. No.
No. This is fine. We just need to use another 300 yen. We can get this.
Ah.
Okay. Insert a coin.
Look at his little butt.
Make sure it's over his tummy.
Okay. Pet the tummy.
Drink
Pet the
water,
tummy.
you
Pet
dehydrated
the tummy.
bitch.
Oh, come on. Scoops the baby. Scoops the baby.
Oh. There we go.
Look how cute it is. Oh, look at the baby. Look at the little baby.
You want to try and get another one?
Yeah, we need all of them. We need one in every color.
Okay, get him. Get the blue one in the center next.
All right, we can do this. All right. Why does it look like they're worshiping him?
Probably because they are.
What was that? What even was that? What even?
Let's try again.
Okay.
Now that he's down, you can grab him from his center.
I'm gonna grab his
I don't
big
think he
ass-
went
I don't
far
think
enough.
I did. I think I'm gonna grab his big ass head. He's also really close to everybody too, so
Yeah, okay, that moved him a little out of the way, so that's good.
reach and grab shit out. Boy, we ain't cheating here.
I don't think you could with the way the machine is designed.
Like, who's that small? Maybe like we'll send Ash in. Go get him. Pick up the baby. Oh? No.
No, but it did move him into a better position.
Isn't the trick to like let the machine stop moving?
There really isn't a trick to this one. At least not that I've ever seen. I never really had a problem getting any of the prizes.
Stretch every time I do a
Stretch, Death. No, buddy!
Okay, I'm gonna help you.
Alright, we gotta rip off one of
All right.
Death's arms and make him hold it.
Alright, no. Line it up first
Mother,
by moving to
I
the
see you
left.
have obtained an adorable axolotl. I am believing this as your attempt to replace me. I will go and tear your shoes apart and leave the body of the axolotl in a ditch outside of town. I love you, Mother, and I will not be replaced.
No, it's not a replacement. It's a friend. Skillet, you shut up, Chibata.
Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you when to stop. So just be ready. Okay. Go. Stop.
Alright.
Might have stopped a little too late.
His big ass head. But he's getting closer to the
Both the
pipe.
axolotl is a replacement for Death. I got it.
Yes, yes. Whatever it takes for you not to destroy my shoes. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Alright. Okay, line it up by moving it left first.
Say his name
God,
and
Joe Henry.
he
Alright, so the stop command is gonna come up really
Joe
quick. Be ready for it,
Hendry.
okay?
I believe
go.
in Joe Hendry. Cause you love him in London and Paris
Keep it
and
down out here.
Tokyo,
It's too
America,
bad. They're playing
Scotland, and
your
Canada
song.
and Mexico. They say I
you don't
believe
even
in Joe
work.
Hendry.
Damn it.
I
Okay,
believe
try
in
again.
Joe
Line it
Hendry.
up and see if you can... Okay. Yep, there. Good. That might work. Okay, okay.
Oh, okay. Come on. Oh, God, don't be fucking shit. Fuck. Joe, you're not even going to work tonight. Nobody has to be quiet around you.
Yeah.
Fuck, you're in a weird position now, my guy.
Yeah, he kinda is.
Maybe we should go for a pink one and maybe he'll, like, move.
Probably not. There's none of the pink ones around that would move that.
Maybe if I hit his tail?
Possibly?
Just turn him.
No.
Ah! Joe, if you go talk shit, you come out here and get this axolotl for me. He's so weirdly positioned now. Just wanna...
Oh!
Ain't no fucking way! Ain't no fucking way, Dev!
Try again.
With his big ass head. Oh god. If I don't get him, I'm gonna cry.
I will take a poop on your lap.
No! He's in a
but
better
he's
position.
in a better position now.
Oh god. Fuck.
Trix, it's okay, we believe in you and the fact your skills are bad. We still love you.
And it
It's okay to
right
give up.
over his tummy.
I feel like maybe that was a little too far. I'm so scared. Baby, get the baby. No!
Please! Ah, god damn it!
Are you fucking kidding me, man? I'm so close. It's so close. And now he's back in this shit ass spot again. Listen here.
I think you went too far
I
left.
think I did.
Oh, wait.
Wait, no?
No?
Yes? Yes?
Maybe?
No? Dude, just put him in the fucking pipe! I need to smoke this
I
damn.
really wish I could do this for you.
I need to smoke this fucking axolotl, bro. Mommy axolotl, move.
Trix, I'm gonna be honest.
Determination
I really wish
is
I could
real.
do this for you
Smiley
because,
face. Smiley face. Smiley
suck.
face.
I do! I know! Tell me about it.
Sorry.
Fuck you, man. I'm gonna go for Mommy Axolotl next. She's giving Mommy long leg vibes. They are! They are! They're giving like Mommy long legs and Daddy long legs and I don't know what the other one was called, the baby one's called. Are you fucking shitting me?
No. Got the mommy on the first try.
Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Yo! The baby is the only one. Oh my god. How the fuck did this even happen? How did that even happen? Turn, turn, turn.
What?
Ain't no fucking way!
No fucking way! No fucking way that just happened!
Thunder. I believe you should attempt to obtain one of those owls. They would prove a much more formidable prey. Their ability to fly will give them at least a few seconds before I catch and eat them.
Joel, those
Also,
aren't owls,
owl
those are
wings are
sparrows.
delicious when fried and served with
She's
barbecue
just a baby,
sauce.
she doesn't
Now my
know.
tummy is growling. Give me ice cream, Uncle Death.
Okay, you can have one ice cream.
You remember what
One
happened
ice cream,
last
Joel.
time?
Yeah, I know. I remember what happened last time, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, you were getting on to me about letting Ashy up here. And you all right? We got one of everybody.
You got
screaming
the alien
lizard.
ship, a lizard, the two different kinds of sparrows, both the normal one and the pink one. You got a pink squirrel, a blue squirrel. You going for the pink squirrel?
No, I want the.
Oh, you
screaming
going for the
lizard.
lizard?
I want the screaming baby. Oh, the other one got in the way.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you just feel like that sometimes? You just go and go, ah!
Yes. Yes, I understood that feeling very recently while I was watching you play the claw game earlier.
Oh my god, I'm still playing the clock. I need to get that one out of here. Go away. Go away. You keep
Why don't
hindering
you
me.
go for a different one, Trix? There's 3 of them.
Death. Shh. Shh. I've picked my target. You know what? We'll go for the screaming one in the middle.
Thank you for the ice cream, Uncle Death. I will now eat it. Nom nom nom, oh no, the brain freeze, ow ow ow, oh now I will roll on the floor and now I am happy.
I was about to say no fucking way. That wouldn't happen. I do not know how I got the blue axolotl. That was some
Joel.
game stuff.
Joel, stop eating it so fast. That's why you get the brain freezies. You're supposed to enjoy ice cream, not scarf it.
You gotta parent the baby. Oh, fuck
Yeah,
you,
I
Joel.
have to, because one of us isn't.
Hey, you're the one who gave her the ice cream.
Yeah, and I'm irresponsible. What does
Stop.
that say about you?
Stop giving my child ice cream. Come here, fat bird. Come here, fat bird. No! Give me the fat bird. Shit! I'm gonna put a fucking...
You almost got it.
I'm gonna put a bell collar on Joe.
Your nephew just said she sucks.
Hey!
Yeah.
I know!
Yeah, they're right. Yeah, they're absolutely right. Good job, kid. Call it like he sees it.
Joey. Why you nasty?
I don't know, get good.
What are you eating? Mr. Bird, please, get in my tube. The dog was asking you for whatever the fuck you had. I feel like I'm lining things up pretty well. Well, not right now, but like, in general. What? Yeah, move him around. Why is the lizard dancing? He was doing the Harlem Shake. You guys remember the Harlem Shake?
I remember that, and I wish to forget it.
I miss it. It was so chaotic and weird.
I don't. It was dumb.
No, we need to do the
And
VTuber
it's a good thing that
Harlem
it's
Shake.
dead.
What the fuck? No, there was no way.
Yeah.
No, we gotta do the VTuber Harlem Shake. We gotta bring it back. We gotta bring it back in the most on-brand, chaotic way. Only VTubers can do. I need you to believe in me, Death.
You need to stop moving it too far.
I know. I'm losing my touch here.
Yeah, you're moving it too far right. You gotta be a bit gentler with that. There you go. That's a little better. That might be the one.
Oh. I'm gonna strangle it. Nope.
No, you need to
I
be a
think the
little
birds
further
are gonna
back.
be really hard because they're so round.
Yeah. But actually, it being on its back is actually pretty good positioning. You need to be where its tummy bulges out the most, and you're going for its head.
I think I was like enamored by the balancing act of the hat earlier.
Man, you were really going for these useless ass plushes.
Shut up!
Well, you do need some of them for a quest, so...
Is that a good one?
That might be. That might be it.
No.
Nah.
They weren't kind enough to me. I said no. It's too realistic. I hate it. I just want the game to be like, oh, good enough.
Again, I do not know how you are having this much trouble, because I get these things in a few tries, no problem.
I just don't think the game likes me, Death. I think that's the problem. Look, that looks good. This motherfucker falls, I'm gonna cry.
I think it's a skill issue.
I got the bird!
You got Button-chan.
Button-chan?
Bun-chan.
Bun-chan.
Yeah.
I have no idea who the best one to go for over here is. Everybody's so bunched up.
Yeah.
No, not this shit again.
Yeah, if you don't go far enough for the claw to go completely down, it's gonna screw you over either way.
Ashalia,
You can
why?
also get the person at the counter to reset the prizes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That might be helpful. Ashalia, why are you back? Sir? I'm a grown-ass... Ash! She's on the keyboard again, y'all. I'm sorry.
I might come to your place and throw your cat.
It's because Joe came back over here, and now she wants to be up here. What? No! That's not
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
No. What is
I'm
that crazy bitch back there? What is she? Look scary. What do we got here? We got, man, this camera sucks. There's a Kappa.
Yeah.
It's a Kappa.
It's the karaoke
oh, that,
kappa.
yeah, I was about to say he's like one of like the mascots around town, isn't he?
Yeah.
Come here, little buddy. Nope.
All right, everybody. Buckle up. This is going to be the rest of the stream.
Look, you told me that I need to
I
start
told
doing
you
the
to
other
explore,
stuff.
not play the claw machine for 20 hours.
What's wrong with playing the claw machine for 20 hours? It's my favorite game.
If that's what you want to do.
Did I get it?
Yeah, it looks like you did. Again, you're also going to run out of space in your inventory, by the way. These each get their own individual slot in your inventory.
I got a few. That's enough for now.
Yeah.
We'll get more later.
And they also do nothing.
I don't care. They're cute.
Yeah. But they're in your inventory now. You can look at them whenever you like.
I'm just like I'm struggling to figure out where people are to talk to listen to.
I mean, you can go to the Odyssey at any time. It's just that you can go around town to find information to help you like get at them.
You can't go down there.
Like,
It's not
no,
fair.
you can't go down there.
It's not fair.
Like I said, they two to three small maps, sometimes
You
one.
sell takoyaki. That's the best one. That's the best food.
Mhm.
He does sell takoyaki.
Yeah.
Does.
Yeah, you can buy some takoyaki from him.
Oh my god. 16 pieces.
Yep.
Oh my god, I need 16 pieces of takoyaki. Also, this shit is dirt cheap.
Yeah. It's the 80s.
What is cheese takoyaki?
Takoyaki with cheese?
I've never had it with cheese.
Yeah.
I need
They still like even in Japan they still serve some stuff with cheese. It's just not a regular part of their diet.
cheese. Gee, I know you love me, but why are you annoying? Oh, look at everybody run. Look at them run.
Yeah, they want to get a good view of you beating the shit out of these guys.
Thunder. I want cheese. Give me the cheese. Cheese, 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 cheese.
Oh, I was kind of hoping he'd kick him in the balls, but okay. It almost looked like he was gonna do that, but sure, you know. Weak ass motherfuckers. That's what I wanted! Yay!
Into the polluted river you go. Enjoy the
Oh, that was
enjoy the
nice.
fucking tetanus.
That was wonderful. Yeah, I like nut checking people. Alright, Ashy, as long as you don't move,
Yeah.
we're okay. Don't
Stay in whatever spot you currently are.
Don't move, Ash. Don't fart either. Oh. Oh, fucking hell. Joe, come get this cat. She's stinky.
Odyssey. This is the place.
Ugh. Imagine if you catch this body
Ready
with
to
a
make the
fishing rod.
magic happen, Majima?
Really? This is how he talks to himself?
Unzips his pants.
Right. Like, what are we gearing up for?
Eh. Head inside the Odyssey.
You're
stinky! Guess how he disguises himself.
Oh, Jesus. He's not going to dress up like a girl, is he?
We can't just charge in and blow my cover.
You're stinky. You are stinky.
Wait for it.
Oh, my God.
Perfect.
Sir.
Unrecognizable.
That's a later. Oh, Jesus. Okay, she left. Oh, fuck yeah. Okay. Ooh, yes.
Don't worry, she's fine. She's not gonna bite you. If you get too close to her, she'll probably just piss herself.
Who's that man? It's a Superman effect.
Yeah. Apologies, but we're full at the moment. May I ask you? Sure, no problem. I can wait. Much appreciated. Please follow me then. I'd be happy to bring you a drink while you wait.
Oh, sorry, Ash.
Nah, don't put yourself out. I'm in no rush here. Full up, but still not turning customers away. Nice. Still, I'd probably get in quicker if I didn't put in a request for Nozomi.
Okay. I thought you said they would be installing it for 4 months.
No. They're going to, it'll be 4 months
Hold
before
on.
they install it. They'll have it installed in a weekend.
Joseph.
Sorry. Hi, everybody!
No. Unacceptable.
So sorry to keep you
Guess
waiting.
what?
We're ready
I'm
for you,
wearing
sir.
pants.
Please follow me.
He's wearing pants, and everyone is shocked.
Yeah.
Everyone is shocked he's wearing pants. Joe, why
Are they
you
nice
wearing...
pants?
Are they nice pants? Probably
No,
no.
sweatpants.
Nothing he owns is nice.
Love you, father, looking
Whoa!
good, Ivan Pants.
They wear suits every day.
Damn.
Not my Joe. They said take it off. Take it off. Take it off. It's the Jerry Springer show now. Take it off. Take it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took him off. He's now Joe again.
Good.
Like, who is this man? He's like Majima with the sunglasses. Like, oh, that's not
Pants
Joe.
are illegal.
Pants are illegal. And what are you eating? Oh, water ice. I had to take. Oh, she knocked down all of my dice, and she tried to eat this.
Oh, is that why? That's why there's a dice on the floor.
Yeah, there's
there.
dice everywhere because Ash knocked them down, dude. You've got an alarm going off.
Yeah, because the Thursday night football games started.
Well, go watch the football game.
I don't even know who's playing.
You've
I
been
do
watching every single football game, like, that's been on almost every night, dude. Or baseball game, or hockey game.
Dun. I've watched 2 football games this year. And unfortunately, neither of them have been Eagles games.
Yeah, you keep watching some weirdos that you
Dun
don't
dun.
even like.
It's been 5 weeks. I've watched 2 games. I just watched them because I happen to have a key player in each of them. I actually do have a player playing in this one, but I don't think it's an important player.
You and Eric were sitting out here watching a baseball game last night.
Because it was the Phillies in the playoffs.
You've been watching sports games like almost every day.
For the last week.
Yeah, it's a
Because the
lot.
Phillies were in the playoffs.
It's a lot.
The playoffs. I didn't watch a single Phillies game all year. They played 162. I didn't watch one of them.
I hope your girlfriend feels better. Everybody, what teams does he watch? He watches the Phillies for baseball, the Eagles for football, but he's been watching all kinds of fucking people play football lately.
Two games.
The Flyers for hockey.
I do watch a lot of Flyers.
He likes to watch them fumble balls. Yeah, he does.
I do like the Flyers. I watch more Flyers than anything else.
Yeah. It's that time of the year where it hurts my brain.
But
My brain
I haven't watched a
kinda
single hockey
dies.
game yet.
Yeah, I don't think they're started yet.
No, they play their first game tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Then we get to watch
Well,
hockey,
technically,
baseball, and football.
Technically, you won't watch them.
No.
Because I don't watch them. I listen to them.
Yeah,
'cause I don't
because
have cable.
you know, we don't have cable. You have to have cable to watch
The only reason
hockey.
I've watched 2 football games is because when they put them on Amazon Prime, I get to see it.
That's crazy, right? The like, if you want to watch a specific sports game, you have to like subscribe to like every fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey season is in the fall and winter. Their first game is tomorrow. I think the season started a little while ago though.
I
Like a
think the
week
9th
ago?
or the 8th
Only a couple of days ago.
was the official start of this season.
Oh, okay.
The games that were being played before that was preseason.
I don't
which
know nothing.
I keep track of, but I don't watch it or listen to it or anything because it's just preseason.
It's just preseason, guys. It's just preseason.
Most of the starters don't play.
Yeah, the starters don't play, so why would we care?
It's about getting the rookies a chance to practice and see which ones are worthy of making the team. Which a lot did.
Oh,
A lot of young guys made the
good
team.
for them. I
It'll be
want to
very
see Gritty again.
We will. I'm
I
going
love
to
Gritty,
I'm going to get
guys.
us Gritty tickets again.
I love Gritty. He's the only good thing about sports. Him and the Fanatic is pretty cool too.
Yeah, Fact. Fact's a good one too.
But Gritty is the boy. He's like a local cryptid. I like him.
Unfortunately, the Eagles mascot's boring.
Yeah, he's boring. He's just a fucking eagle. I don't care.
And they got rid of the Sixers cool mascot and replaced them with a stupid one.
I don't even watch basketball.
I don't either, but I do know that they used to have a rapping rabbit known as Hip Hop.
They had a rapping rabbit. Oh God.
His name was Hip Hop. He was cool. He wore a backwards hat or bandana.
Yeah, back in the 90s, maybe.
Yes, exactly. Back in the 90s.
No wonder he got an upgrade.
He got an upgrade. He's now a dog named Einstein.
Why is he? Oh, we were like rapping is for street.
No, I'm sorry,
kids.
not
It's
Einstein.
bad.
Franklin. He's a dog named Franklin.
Franklin. Okay, well that makes a little more sense since the Declaration of Independence was signed here. It's not good. I didn't say it was better. I just said it made sense. Why a dog though?
I don't know.
They could have like gave the rabbit a makeover. They didn't have to like change him entirely.
Healer.
A blue healer.
Like Bluey.
Okay, but like, what are the team colors?
Red, white, and blue.
I mean,
the team is called the 76ers because of 1776 when they signed the Declaration of Independence.
That's lame. That's so lame. I mean, I like blue healers.
Before the game, they have a miniature model of the Liberty Bell, and they ring it, which is a cool concept. I do like
differentiate yourself
but they
from
only
an
start doing
unpopular
that
administration. Surely, you would do something different.
Listen, I plan on having a Republican in my cabinet. You asked
the Clinton's got a digital one.
That's what are you doing?
Between Joe Biden and me, well, that will be one of the differences. I'm going to have a Republican in my cabinet.
Okay.
Jeff, what are you watching?
Everything Joe Biden did, plus...
Oh, sorry. I was completely excluded from the conversation, so I started watching YouTube shorts.
That's fine, because it's just sports. You're just talking about sports.
I know nothing about sports,
I
and
don't
I
either.
don't really like any sports at all.
I've had to watch quite a bit lately.
Do you have
No,
to
you haven't.
eat
You
before
haven't
you
had
make
to
your
do
skin
anything.
turn pink?
I have never made you watch any sport.
I don't really. I can't escape the sports.
Yes, you can, because you can leave the room.
I can go hole up in the bedroom.
Or come play on your computer. Or leave the house. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, I take over the TV to watch a sports game.
Alright, Joe. We're trying to play a game.
Joe, can we play Yakuza, please?
We gotta play Yakuza.
I'm not stopping you from doing anything. You called me over.
Dude, no.
You told me to drop my pants. So yes, you called me over.
You will not unplug my fucking computer. Dude, ain't nobody doing nothing to you.
Literally been doing nothing but insulting.
You've been a butt face. Alright, I got the game back up.
Wonder where Nosemi's out. Better scope things out first. Look around the club, then press the A button to observe areas of
Oh,
interest.
now it's a Danganronpa game.
That spot's looking pretty good. Pair of 50-some guys, designer suits, watches look Italian.
Face
Gotta be in finance, maybe real estate. This doesn't look like one's trying to impress the other and they got a bottle on keep. Must be regulars. Judging from how hard they talk those girls up, those guys are in pretty deep. Big fish like them are what keep a place running for years. Look towards the stairs.
No, I want
little
to
bit
look
to
at
the
the
left.
curtain.
Oh, trust me. You want to look towards there. Look towards the stairs.
Ow!
Yeah. Observe. Look at it, Trix. What the shit is that? Dude is like a lust machine. Is Otto's popular with that crowd? Is there even a crowd for whatever that is?
Is that supposed to be a diaper?
No, that's supposed to be just tidy whities, but
Oh,
yeah.
they look like diapers. I'm just saying. Oh, yeah,
Ooh,
why'd
that
they
table's
see
wide
me?
open. Thought the place was
Booty,
booked
booty,
solid.
booty, booty, rocking everywhere.
Yeah. Could they be keeping a queue at the entrance when there's enough space to make it seem like it's high demand? Whoa. That guy is based... Oh, he's based on a famous Japanese comedian. Okay.
Oh. The table's
The
hopping.
table's hopping. Yeah. One old guy in flashy clothes, a middle-aged playboy, and a kid in rags.
This is a weird hodgepodge of people.
Gotta be entertainment biz. The director, the talent, and the young ones, a PA or some piss boy job. 3 customers and only 2 girls. Feels off balance.
Yeah, why are they sharing one?
Yeah.
Now look at your penis. I'm just kidding. Where else is there to
Too
look?
big to fit on this screen, Trick.
I was gonna say, I think that was everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hi there. I'm Takaka. Oh, I should probably let you voice this one.
no.
Figures they wouldn't waste nosing me on a first timer. Still, I can probably pump some good intel out of this gal. Pulls out a gun and a Batman mask. Where is she?
Aw, thanks. Now, what can we get to drink?
Why don't we kick things off with champagne?
You got it. Drink order, please. She's so cute. I like her dress. I would wear
Yeah.
that dress. It's so
See, this is what separates cabarets from like just strip joints and such. The girls dress pretty, but they don't dress like sultry.
Mm-hmm.
And that there's a big difference there. Okay, McDarmo. I mean,
Oh, that would be
I don't
such
know.
a funny redeem.
maybe we just go bare bones.
It would be a hilarious redeem where you just like, it looks like a femur or something like, but the redeem is like you pop a boner and like a big
you know,
bone just kind of.
I've actually been kind of trying to think of like maybe trying to run a charity event with the
that would be so much
with
fun.
the hurricane and everything.
Yeah.
And like
That would be
maybe that could
awesome.
be one of the charity goals.
Ooh, if you ever just want like help coming up with like redeems and stuff, I'm like obsessed with doing shit like that.
Yeah.
I love doing shit like that's why I got so damn many of them. Ooh.
Oh, good. Heard from Kat. I heard Kat was also in the path of the next hurricane. So I messaged them today. Was like, hey, wanted to check in with you, see if you're okay. They say they're
That's a good
alive
idea,
now with
Darmo.
almost 24 hours of almost no anything.
Ugh. I feel for.
Okay.
I feel for them. Darmo says you should get
Well-
tits with bones. And
Oh,
every
yeah, I
bone,
should.
every bit is a bone. And then the bits go towards charity. Oh, you're so smart, Darmo. You're so smart. Got the big brain. He's got the big brain, and Death has the big bone. But I am happy about Kat. I know. God, everybody is like. I feel bad for everybody.
Too many people we know are in the path of
Right.
these goddamn hurricanes.
It's crazy. Ooh.
Okay, so
I feel like I
you
gotta
wanna
play it
ask her about
smooth.
pretty much anything.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's not really gonna.
Yeah, you're pretty much gonna have to ask her all the questions.
Oh, okay, whatever. I'll ask her about herself. We'll start out slow.
Still got any hobbies?
Me? I'm super into skiing lately. I'm on the slopes just about every weekend. That's a hobby. I got my eye on this new snowsuit that's mega cute. Now I just need someone to come along and buy it for me.
Planning to get one of your customers to buy it for you?
I'm worried about Ciabatta too. Aw, none of my regulars are that sweet, which means this is the perfect chance for someone new to make their move.
Sure sounds like it. If you're a good girl, maybe Santa will bring it for you. You got a stocking that
Hey,
big?
don't be mean. And whatever, I'll just buy it for myself, so yeah.
Ugh, why am I chatting this girl up like a tool? Damn near forgot why I came here.
Yeah, but you gotta get her all comfy so she'll spill the
Yeah.
beans.
Okay, what's my plan of attack here? What do I ask to get info on Nozomi? Okay?
Alright, we're gonna ask about the Odyssey first.
Yeah. Awful busy in here tonight. Is business usually this brisk?
Well, the holiday season certainly helps, but they also told us girls we have to bring a guy in with us every night, so maybe that's helping too.
No case on? Yeah, you're right, Watchdog. That sucks. So, funny story about that. You might want to pause this for a second.
Case on or bust!
You've heard about Case on, right?
Nope.
Okay, she's
I disappeared.
one...
Hello.
Or, I don't know if she's still part of
Hello?
VShojo, I haven't heard.
Where am I?
But,
Where have I gone?
Oh, you disappeared.
I did, bro. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Hold on. Girl,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Get back up there. What the fuck?
But, like, I don't know if she's still part of VShojo. She was at a point, but now, like... I don't even know if she's still a VTuber. But see, the thing is, she was a huge simp for Kiryu. Like,
Oh.
so fucking huge. She is last time? Okay. But, like, so much so that they put her in one of the Yakuza Cabaret Club minigames as one of the hostesses. And then they put her as a voice actor for one of the characters in the newest game, Infinite Wealth.
That's awesome.
Well, oh, no, I don't mean to make that sound past tense. She still is one of the hugest simps for Kiryu.
That's
and
pretty
that's
cool.
the thing.
Good for her.
The character she voices in Infinite Wealth constantly tells Ichiban, and bring Kiryu along. Bring him every time you come here. I want to see Kiryu. Where's Kiryu?
She likes who she likes, okay? She knows who she likes.
No, yeah, I'm not blaming her.
Yeah, good for her. Good for her.
Yeah. Oh, that's just their pride talking.
Pride.
Yeah, let's switch voices.
Yeah, we've been trying fair customers to the ground for a few months now, so management says we got a ban this month. The whole staff's paying a fine. That sucks.
The heck is that about? Long as you turn in a solid profit, why stir up trouble? What's the grand got to do with anything anyway?
Believe me, I feel the same way, but the manager here doesn't seem to agree. And honestly, even if we go out with them before coming in, it's not like our regulars are dropping hundreds of thousands in here every day. We need new customers.
She's very knowledgeable. Good for her. You make a good point. Looks like they're really desperate to beat the grand here. Problem is, they're running out of steam. I bet they kill for some fresh clients. She competed in and won a contest to get her spot. Oh,
Okay.
that's even cooler.
They made her a hostess in a game set before Infinite Wealth, and then straight up put her in Infinite Wealth. Okay, so I
That's
didn't know about
really
the
cool.
contest part, but yeah, I knew she was like a huge fan of Yakuza,
That's
especially
that's
like a
even
huge
cooler.
fan of Kiryu. Which, yeah, hey, good for her if she won a contest for it.
Yeah, that's even cooler.
Yeah.
Okay, what's my plan of attack here? Alright, you gotta ask about the hostesses now.
Yeah, ask about the hostesses.
I'm still reeling at how many cuties are here, about how many girls are on staff and all, here and all.
Probably about 100 all told. I think only about 40 of them are working today, though.
That's a lot. Gotta be hard to keep track of them all, yeah?
You said it. And a bunch of girls only work maybe one shift a week. Seems like every other night I'm sitting in a booth with a girl I've never talked to before.
Wow, you got any new girls coming in droves, huh? Guess it's a top-tier cabaret for you.
Nah, it's just cause so many girls up and quit.
They quit? What for?
The hierarchy here is way scary. And hot new girl comes in, threatening to upset the pecking order, all the girls top come down on her hard.
Sounds like competition's tough. Any girl who makes it to the top in the middle of all that's really gotta be something though, huh? Eh?
Yeah, I suppose. Our number one gal, Nozomi-san, has guys lining up for her before the doors even open each night.
Bingo! I like where this is headed. Ooh, I like this. I like it. So, what's this Nozomi girl like?
Nozomi-san? Huh. We're not really supposed to talk to customers about other girls. Besides, aren't I enough for you, Majima? Don't you love me? What if I had to sum it up?
Professional?
She's great.
Like
A lot of our clients are big wigs or politicians and stuff. Oh, so Donald Trump frequents this establishment.
I see.
Yeah,
He
I wouldn't be
would.
surprised.
He would.
Nozomi-san's super motivated with stuff like that, so she's always been popular with those types.
This bitch
Now, a lot
talks
of them
really
request her when they
fast.
come in.
Sounds like she's on top here for a good reason then. Makes sense she'd be popular. Grisabella, hi!
Yeah, but the other day, some younger guys came in, and she was totally lost talking to them. It was hilarious. Hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Oh, keep that last one between us, yeah? If the other girls heard it say that, it'd cause drama.
It's our little secret. Got a secret, can't keep it.
By the way, what do you think of my lumpy space
Relax.
princess impression?
It's great. It's our little secret. Still sounds like even a pro like Nozomi-chan's got her cute side. Ooh.
Nice. Sounds like there's good reason they got a reputation to come in consummate hostess. She'll do just fine, even with the high rollers. Ooh.
Alright.
But wait.
There's more!
Blah 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 blah. Buy more drinks.
Oh no.
Sunglasses is a. Hold on. Let me make it appropriately Weasley. No, that's not it.
That's too much.
Sunglasses is a hard look to pull off indoors, Majima.
Oh.
Fake Majima. Totally fake Majima.
Stop. Oh god. This goober.
Welcome to Odyssey. Enjoying yourself? We have the best girls. The best girls in the entire town. You wouldn't believe how good these girls are.
Oh damn, the manager.
Think we could get a few minutes alone, honey?
I'll grab
That's
your
not my
ass later.
wife, but I'm probably putting my dick in her anyways.
As a third base coach, his name is Wafer.
Here for Nozomi, I take it. Well, I won't give her up. Unless you pay my bail.
Yeah, I can see why your shops are competition. You know what I want? And you're straight to business. I like it.
Oh, he just like let the whole mask slip.
And yeah, awfully roundabout, snaking around, spying on the competition. Horrible Majima. Terrible Majima. No need to bother with all that. If you want to see Nozomi, I'll call her over. Negotiate with her to your heart's content.
Oh, he's confident.
Won't get me very far if I can't get you on board, boss. I ain't here to talk to Nozomi. I came to sweet talk you, Yagami-han.
Oh, I want to kiss you.
Well then, pucker up. Give me the biggest kiss you can.
Oh.
And just what gives you that impression? Where I'm sitting, it's looked like this place is doing business at a good clip, but your clientele's skewed towards the gray old guys. Which ain't a problem right now, but if you're hoping to expand at all, you're gonna need to tap into a fresh market. Not to mention the clients you do get are half your problem. Rich, old, and musty, feels too high-fast and make regular guys feel uncomfortable. Place like that, even when you do get the odd youngster in, he'll feel out of place, might not come back.
He's giving you hard advice, my guy. You want to take it to heart?
That ain't all. Let's talk a big game about the roster, but the place is desperate for new girls, am I wrong? You got proof to back that up? When I walked in here, your boy told me the place was full. Had me wait by the entrance. Then I get in and see the open tables. That tells me you ain't got enough girls on death to cover a full house, huh? You want proof? Have a look at that table with 3 guys and just 2 girls. 1-to-1 standard practice slugger. Keep scrimping on people and you'll get complaints. That's a sharp eye you got, even though you only got 1 of them. Look, you're a smart guy. You see what I'm going with all this, yeah?
He's giving you an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah.
I'ma give you an offer
Damn
you
it.
can't refuse.
It's being stupid. There it goes.
Alright, you've got us all figured out. But you don't know I actually have an outline of a plan to fix this.
Stop! A plan for a plan.
This place is swimming in home-run batters. Seems like it's about time you got somebody who can bunt, no? And just what are you offering in exchange for our cleanup hitter? 10 million cash and earnest money to start. I can have one of my boys bring it to you in the morning. I'm just getting warmed up. I've been training a gaggle of girls aimed square at the younger crowd. Any one of them could be your future leadoff batter. Take however many you like, you pick. You just gotta seriously hand over fresh blood you've scouted? Sure, and those girls are all the complete package. That's so. You really want to be that generous with your energy? With your enemy? I need big sales right now. You make this trade, you get big sales down the line. The deal's honey for both of us. I have the concept of a girl, yes.
I see. You certainly know how to get what you want without making enemies along the way. Wouldn't have guessed by the look of you. So this is girl Majima. Great guy. Known him all my life.
I'm assuming we got a deal?
We do, but remember, you and I are rivals here. No more stunts like this or else.
I don't think you're in any place to say that, bro.
Starting tomorrow, Odyssey will do everything he can to win. Am I clear?
Huh, you do what you want. And me? Well, I got some fine wine for my troubles. Bring me the check, will you?
Heh. Your visit was very educational. Let's call your tab my treat.
That's doing me a solid. See you around.
I made the best deal. The best deal in all of cabaret history.
Gave away his best girl for...
Gave away my best girl and lost an entire sale on another one just to get a bunch of greenhorns. God, I'm so good at this.
By doing a little bit of this, a little of that, I worked out and knows we should fall with you tomorrow.
My
The
only
girl
concern
might
is
not be true, but I will say it, and it will get the mainstream Yakuza to start talking.
God.
That's
So, like, my only thing is, like, he
so
offered him...
fucking perfect.
He offered him 10 million when
Yeah.
he still needs to get 100 million together.
No, he needs to get 500 million.
Oh, that's right. Like, bro, I know, like, technically that's a drop in the bucket, but when you're trying to get such a large amount together, like, I feel like every little bit counts. I don't know, that might just be me, though.
He can... Probably he makes 10 mil in a night, is the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, that just
What a
says,
hell of a day.
what is that cabaret making a night?
Yeah. Time to get some grub and pass the hell out. Maybe I'll hit up Sotenbori Street tonight. Okay.
We're going on an
Oh,
adventure.
you might want to go to the park now.
The park?
Yeah, you might want to go to the park now. The park we were circling around earlier. Yeah, the triangle thing there. Yep. The regulars at the Grand, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs.
Oh, God. Oh, fuck. Not you
That's
guys.
why you can't pet them.
The controller died, guys.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Keyboard, how do I... Okay, that works. Joe, can you do me a favor? It's gonna be a dick. Can I get some, batteries? And I also need my pills. Oh, God. You can keep the cat. She is a baby! She's worth everything. Oh, you're getting forcefully groped. No, it was worse. You get yeeted. You're getting yeeted, Death.
I'm getting yeeted.
You're getting yeeted. Look at my little guys. My pills.
And a battery.
They should be in my purse, which is probably still in the bedroom. I really hope y'all didn't hear that. He kind of just called me a dumb cunt. And now we wait. Oh, God. Come on. I'll trade you. These need to be charged. Give me the other ones.
There.
No, you didn't. You grabbed them. I watched you grab them. Come on, give me the batteries. Come on. Alright. I don't need a drink, or I got one.
Hmm.
I did pre-cut, so you don't have to wait for me to cut one. I just have to shove it down my throat. By the way, guys, if you have any medications that you need to take today, and you have not done so, take your fucking medicine. Take your goddamn medicine. Ugh. Got cat hair in my mouth. Ash! You bitch! Damn it, Darmo, you can't just be healing everybody like that.
McDarmo's trying their best.
God, if that's what I was subjected to at one of those, like, what do you call them? Revivals, southern revivals where they claim that they can heal you, I think I might actually be into them. Alright. I have consumed my medication. Let's beat the shit out of some dudes. Eat my boot. No, I don't want to eat your boot. My boot. Hey. Let's talk
Eat
about
his fancy shoes.
Let's talk about it. Puppies.
I am glad you were able to set up your joke too, Watchdog.
Me a good joke.
Yeah.
Oh,
Of
Jesus,
yeeting
God,
a
you
skeleton.
throw ass, and he'll kill everyone. I'm sorry. Next time, don't be such a whiny little bitch. Oh my God, why are they everywhere, bro?
Because they want to be everywhere.
I don't want to be your friend.
They want you to punch them in the face, Trix. Don't you understand?
I don't want to be
They're
your
a
friend.
gang of masochists. Just give them what they want.
Oh, I can't pick up the... Aw. Oh, I got nothing to pick up. Are you kidding me?
Then just break their necks. You just gotta wait for them to throw a punch.
Whatever.
Oh, that works.
Bone throne. Alright, you told me come back to the park.
Yeah, I wonder if the side quest isn't open yet.
Another puppy I can't pet.
Oh, terrible.
You just brought me here to hurt my feelings.
I guess the side quests aren't open yet for Majima.
Aww, why does it take so damn long every time? A million
Literally
yen.
just started playing as Majima.
Million yen vending machine.
Yeah, you could get something really good. Oh fuck! Fuck! Turn around!
Nope. Nope. Where's the people like fight? Yeah, no. I don't want to be anywhere near that.
Yeah, just leave the park. Or there, bikers. Knock into them. Hey, fight me, assholes.
Yes, please, put me out of my misery. Ow.
Yeah, I guess the side quest isn't open yet for that.
Oh yeah, grab stuff. Where is
There's
stuff?
nothing you can grab right now.
I am sad about that.
If you go to the next story beat, you will actually find a style where you always have a bat.
Oh.
Back. I cast death.
You would.
Oh my god.
Just smack a man. Alright, hopefully that got rid of the other guy.
It should have, but I wouldn't go near the park again.
I'm scared now. I'm scared of the park.
Yeah.
What's your deal?
Hey, Sonny! If you have a spare moment, you want to play a noble game of strategy with me?
Is this fucking Mahjong?
No, it's shogi.
Oh, I don't know how to play that.
And who are you?
Hey, I'm just an old man who likes nothing more than shogi whenever I have the time. I come to sit here, waiting for someone to join me for a game. That or I fuck fish.
Oh god, what? Oh, Watchdog, what?
That second part. Just making sure everybody's still paying attention.
Well, are you interested in shogi?
I'm not, but...
I'll give you some slack if you're interested.
Maybe I could go for it. You want to play shogi?
Are you gonna help me? Because I don't know how to play shogi.
I do not either, so...
Oh, wow, we're gonna both suck.
Yeah. That's
Sure.
up to you.
You know what? Look, he's still looking for someone to play with him. He didn't say he was looking for a person who was good at it to play with him.
Yeah.
Alright, one game.
Gladly! Sir,
Zero.
how much confidence do you have in your shogi skill?
Absolutely
Zero.
none.
Yeah. I'm just a beginner, so go easy on me.
Then I'll try to play like a beginner, too. You
Alright.
look stupid.
God damn it.
So see how it tells you both like the keyboard and the
I see that
gamepad
now,
controls?
yeah.
Yeah. Probably don't want to have a time limit.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah. Toss a piece to determine who goes first. Okay. Toss a piece, Trix. You go first, I guess.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't like the hand. I don't like it. It's a weird. Okay, so these are pawns, I presume.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh god, it's like chess, dude. No, I'm terrible at this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Looks like it.
Oh, this is awful. Oh, we're not gonna do good at all, man. Chad, does anybody here know how to play this?
Call of Duty Shoot a Man. With the spin-off Yakuza Beat a Man. Just like the spin-off Hitman and a Man.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna play terribly, guys. Ain't nobody got time for this. Fuck it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna make a pattern. Like, we just gotta put everybody up one at a time, right?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know what I'm doing. That's what he's doing. Yo! Can we take that? Oh! Okay. Oh, well, that was terrible. You shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
So I don't think I can move back now.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck, I don't know. Yeah, I screwed. I don't know what I'm.
You screwed up because you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
You think I know what I'm doing, old man? I'm just seeing who can move where. Don't fucking know, bro. It doesn't matter. He's got me where, like, it doesn't matter where I move. He's gonna...
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna fuck you either way.
Oh, I love getting fucked.
Nice.
I mean, we gotta think about it positively, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't... Oh, it doesn't matter.
I love absolutely getting destroyed. It's my favorite thing.
Getting fucking ripped tonight. R.I.P. this point. I'm sorry. Whap.
Womp womp.
Look, I'm just okay, well, yeah, promote it. I don't know what I'm doing.
Trix, why did you choose to play shogi?
I don't know. Maybe because I felt bad for the old man.
Why would you feel bad for the old man? What's he got to do with you? He's not suffering.
I know,
he just
but
says he likes
seemed
to play
lonely.
shogi. Cool, your piece got promoted and then died.
I can't wait to fucking die, y'all. Just take me.
Kill me, please.
Just kill me. Yeah, you're gonna check me. Take me out. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Can anything even move? Do I even have any? Is this just the king and this guy who's left?
I don't fucking know.
I don't either. No. It's fine. It's fine. We knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I can't play chess either.
Yeah.
So, like, I told you I was shit, dude.
Here, looks like I won this time.
Yeah, I told you I
God,
had
you
no
suck.
confidence.
You must have a beta dick.
Majima turns to him and is like, "What you say to me, old man?
What'd you say about my dick?
I'm about to put you in a fucking funeral home."
Oh, I'm gonna put him in a home, alright. Club Venus. It rhymes
Yeah,
with
just keep running.
penis.
Just keep running.
Venus rhymes with penis.
What?
I was looking at the name of the club. It was Club Venus.
You's thinking this is a joke, pal?
I thought that said machine voice. I can't read.
What's that guy on about? Sounds pretty pissed. There a fight going on down there?
Of course, you want to snoop. You are so snoopy.
I love watching men get beat up. Shut up, it's my fetish.
What kind of clown's ass on a raid with a big honking sword like this, you moron? Don't you got any daggers or guns, you know, normal weapons? Excuse me, that weapon is a work of art, you piece of shit.
Smack him with it. No robots to like a dragon. There are robots to like a dragon?
Yeah, there
Nobody
are
ever told me
actually,
that.
and you fight them.
Oh, what the Samurai Jack's going on in that game?
Yeah. You can't see the appeal of a Chinese broadsword. That is why I'm hesitant to sell to you.
This man looks like he's seen war. Look at that
Yeah.
scar.
You making this is about me's? Awful cocky of you's 2-bit black market front. Whole point of business is giving your clients what they want.
No, it should be about what they need.
Sounds like an arms deal. This ain't something I want to get involved with. I only deal with clients I respect. If you would prove that you're worthy of my weapon, undergo my test.
Yes, the hell's you on about?
You and I will spar. Defeat me and you pass.
I'm getting real tired of your high and mighty talk. Fine, you wanna fight? I'll take yous. See how you like your precious can opener when I'm using it on you.
Oh no.
Indeed, that's the point. This is a test of your proficiency with a weapon.
Ha! I ain't gonna feel sorry when you loses an arms, or if I straight up ends you. You dumb fucks!
I hope you're prepared.
You pieces of shit!
Who wields a fucking sword like that? Yeah, smash his brains in like a pumpkin.
Holy shit! Let's go!
Hey, Trix! You ready to put some people in the hospital?
I like baseball. I'm gonna smack him with a bat. I'm gonna smack them people with a bat.
The hell are those moves with that stick? There's no martial arts I've ever seen, but he's got the other dude's sword look like in that damn chopstick.
I like chopsticks too.
You the son of a bitches!
You fail.
Yeah, well, what do you expect? Giving me a shit sword like this. That staff you got's a way better weapon.
Dude, no.
This is merely a piece of lumber. The sword you hold, on the other hand, is a masterwork I painstakingly crafted.
What?
But apparently you were unfit to wield it. I would ask you do not return to my shop again.
I wanna see your disgusting face ever again.
The hell's with your damn shop? I hope it burns with yous in it. Rumors said you were the dealer to beat, so I went to the bother of tracking yous down, and for what? You's a fraud!
Dumb's fight words. Come back here, you sniveling little shit.
Dude's like, dude, this is just a stick I found. You just have a skill issue. Yup.
This
Yeah,
is a
exactly
stick I
it.
found. I has a
Shit,
stick.
I've been staring. Don't want to get dragged into somebody else's dirty deal, and I'm out of here.
Boy, that's all you're good at is staring.
Yeah, Majima, piss off before you get involved.
Oh, you again.
Majima. Curious meeting you here.
Oh man, that voice always does in my throat.
Drink something.
I am.
Don't die.
It's probably because I'm switching between so many.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, it's you. Don't spook me like that, Gramps.
I was merely wondering about, in search of a place where the two of us could spar uninterrupted. Break my neck a few more times, Majima. It is the only thing that gets me hard.
That's, wait, what was that last part?
Oh, no.
Real nasty customer at that.
His name is Fei Hu, a local arms dealer. Quite the master himself, too, so long as a weapon rests within his hands.
What, you know that guy?
My neck needs to pop, please. It's not. Oh, no girlfriend
no.
reveal. That's okay.
Aw.
I hope she feels
Yeah.
better.
Give your girlfriend plenty of head pats from us.
Yee.
I knew his father for ages, back when he walked this earth. Checked in on him as having my reason for coming to Sotenbori.
Keeping up with some other guy's kid.
Yep. You see, he is actually also my child.
What?
Yes, I conceived him with a man. Do not ask me how I performed this ancient martial art.
Oh my god.
As long as we are all here, why don't I introduce you?
Hey, I didn't ask for any favors.
Oh, don't be so stubborn. This will be good for the both of you.
How do you figure?
Besides, the time to sneak off has long passed. It seems Fei Hu has been aware of your presence from the start.
He knows.
Watchdog yeeted me again.
Yeet!
Apologies, Kamaki-san. But I do not trust this man. He has an air of danger about him.
Because he's
Oh yeah,
dangerous.
he kind of looks like a pirate.
Now, don't you go being stubborn on me, too. Delay any longer, and put him to the test. Dally no longer and put him to the test. I can tell you already, this young man will most certainly pass.
Say what?
Say what? And in the upcoming game, he is a pirate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I saw that. I don't know what that's all about, but
I'm so excited for that.
I'm happy for you.
Majima is my favorite character in this entire series. I love him so much. Why the hell do I gotta take a test? I got no business with this guy's shop.
Come, Majima. No, seriously, come. I've been trying for ages.
Oh no.
I mean, we had a recent game where Kiryu was a secret agent. Yeah, but that feels very on note for Kiryu. Although being a pirate also feels on note for Majima, but that's something I just want to see more, is Majima as a pirate, rather than Kiryu as a secret agent.
Biased. Just say you're biased.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I'm biased. I'm biased. I'll say it, I'm biased.
You're biased. Just be honest.
I saw that look on your face as you bore witness to their fight. A look of inspiration.
Wow. I thought of ways to smack people in the face with a bat.
And now your silence speaks volumes of truth. That curiosity of yours is one of the keenest tools in your armory.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nothing fancy enough to call inspiration, just a few dumb thoughts rattling around.
Yes, but what if they are enough to match Fei Hu's skills? They would be less dumb, stray thoughts, and more akin to a full-blown revelation.
Wop, wop, wop.
Whether you give that revelation life or snuff it out is your
Aw,
choice.
thank you for the head pats.
Got to at least give it a try.
Listen, I've had a long-ass day, and I'm tired as a dog. Let's make this quick.
Gotta be quick, friends. Gotta be quick.
You could have just said no.
Oh, and then someone bonked me. I got hip pass and then I got bonked. How is that fair?
Yeah, Watchdog, what did Trix do?
I didn't do I yawned like 5 times. Was I clout chasing?
I assume you have no objections, Fei Hu? If you recommend him so strongly, very well. Soften that head for the bonk.
It is settled then. Now, what'll it be? The man is an arms dealer. He can procure for you most anything you might want.
I had to even things out after yeeting you twice, Death.
Oh my god.
Nah, I'm good with that beat up bat over there.
A baseball bat? You get you like a cool ass sword, and you want a fucking baseball bat?
I want a swinger. In the
I
springer.
mean, okay.
That's a doggy butt! Look at that
Puppy.
dog's portal!
Oh, this should be quite an entertaining match. My loins are stirred.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Alright, ready? Ready to hit the shifty-eyed man in the face with a baseball bat?
I guess so.
Switch to the slugger style.
Alright.
Try mastering the strong defensive potential that the bat offers. When you guard using a weapon, you are less likely to be staggered by an attack. Use a bat to protect yourself against Fei Hong's vicious assault.
Oh, I forgot how to dodge. How to...
You gotta guard, actually.
Yeah,
Hold the left button.
Left, not right, ding dong.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know my left from my right, guys.
The bumper. You gotta hold the bumper, Trix.
The bumper. Hold it. Turn around, dingus. You can't block
There
it.
you go. Just hold that down and let him hit you a few times.
Oh my
One
god,
more.
dude, hurry up. Thank you.
Okay, there we go. You slugger style to defeat Feng He. You might want to heal real quick as well.
Get away from me. I don't have
You've only
any-
got the takoyaki, so just go ahead and eat that. Oh, that actually healed you for quite a bit.
Oh, fuck yeah, takoyaki, let's go!
Yeah,
Bumper, I hardly know.
takoyaki coming in clutch. Let's go. All right, beat his ass.
I cast 4 months hospital.
He's gonna be shocked!
I certainly did not expect you to use a bat.
It was
so
at this
well.
moment that he
You're
knew.
quite the interesting
He
fellow.
fucked up.
No.
It was at this moment he knew he fucked up. Yeah, right before the bat made contact with his teeth. Just remembered using one back when I was running raids on the competition. Think I've improved since then, though.
Surprised me too. I knew you could fight, but I did not think a spur-of-the-moment selection like that would get you far against Fei Hu. Shows what I know.
Damn, even surprised the master.
So,
Sure,
Fei
it's
Hu,
a
huh?
panty raise. Chat, you wanna go on a panty raid with me?
Let's go. Let's do it. What do you think of my bat work?
Majima is Batman.
You passed with flying colors, of course. You are precisely the sort of person my business exists to serve. Okay, so here's the thing. He isn't an arms dealer per se. This man is a smith.
You like upgrade weapons that you get elsewhere?
Not exactly. You'll see.
Alright. Is this something like the eating the money thing where it just doesn't make any sense?
No, but it actually does make more sense. By the way, we should probably eat some money as Majima.
I should also get some fucking Healy items too.
Yeah, we should go to the clown guy so you can get all that stuff to sell. Your weapon shop, you mean the nice... That's nice of you to offer, but as you can see, I ain't really interested in the conventional stuff. Huh. So much the better. I'm not a common dealer pawning off weapons I've scavenged. Well, that's cryptic. What do you mean? Are you free at the moment? My shop is quite close. I would enjoy the chance to escort you there and explain exactly what it is we do.
We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship.
Finish it.
No.
Finish it.
No.
Finish it.
No.
This is our shop, the Dragon and Tiger. Outwardly a Chinese restaurant opened by myself and my wife. Yeah? There's his wife. This is my wife. Lao Ha. Okay, this one's yours.
Oh, whoops. Oh well.
And you said it wasn't your average weapons store. What exactly is it then? Most of the products we sell here are meticulously hand-forged by me. Bespoke arms, you might call them. Made to order, huh? So you ain't an arms trader, you're a smith, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
Precisely. Now, if I may, I would like to explain to you how it is I go about making weapons.
Okay.
At the Dragon and Tiger, you can enlist a host of agents to locate weapons, gear, and other equipment. They can be hired to hunt down the following 3 categories: gear, recipes, or parts. Put the agent's skill to use and gather the world's most powerful weaponry and equipment at your fingertips.
Interesting. My claw
So you
machine being a
send
butt.
these agents out around the globe looking for rare materials and such. That is pretty different. Our goal in all of this is to develop a robust network with arms dealers the world over, but some agents' work takes them far from civilization. So basically, you got these guys searching for treasure out in the jungle and shit. I'm all about that, actually.
Oh, fuck yeah! Majima gonna go on a treasure hunt with me!
Indeed. Remote archaeologist sites produce some of the most beautifully wrought and historically important weaponry. My shop is always on the lookout for such gems.
You get robot-y, Biff.
Yeah. I think they need robo-booty.
Robooty.
Furthermore, customers whose contributions pass a certain level are given a special reward. Private arms lessons.
Oh! Private jerk-off lessons. Whoop.
This is how you upgrade blood levels. Yeah, so I'm guessing that means you were hold back and fought there.
Well, yeah, he's testing you, not trying to beat your ass.
Yeah, he's aging you. Naturally, that was only a test. You're one's real.
You're incomprehensible now.
Speaking of which, I just remember I ain't yet. I'm half starved that here. So this was the Chinese spot by yeah. Give me that out of the would you?
Yeah! You customer for that side of business too? You wait, I fix you a feast. I think she's Chinese.
She is.
I was like, I don't think she speaks Japanese natural. Like that's her main language. Hi, Serenity. What is up with these old men and their fucking favors, bro?
Yeah.
They need to.
I ask of you, get down on my knees. Will you marry me?
Oh my god.
Okay, yes.
Huh?
Is my robotic?
No, that sounds like death to me, but.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Hold on. Man. Wild. He sounds fine to me.
Okay,
Death, I'm gonna end the call and I'm just gonna call you back. So that fixes it.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay.
Is that better, guys? Is that better?
Is it better? Is it worse?
That fixed it. Okay, we just had a little stuff.
Fucking, alright.
It's fine.
Stream game back to me, please.
Alright. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let me give it back. You can have it back. There you go. You can have it. You can have that. You can.
Yay.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Don't show me a Culver's ad. I'll want a cheeseburger.
Do you want a cheeseburger? I think you need a cheeseburger.
I do, but I don't have any money.
Oh, damn.
Not until tomorrow.
Someone give Death some cheeseburger money.
I don't need to tell you not to spread word of their business, but I would also like you to keep vigil over them. Why is that? The happy couple in some kind of trouble? I cannot share the details now, but in time their shop may draw the ire of a terrible foe.
Dun dun dun!
My debt collectors. I put it all in Fei He's name.
These fucking old men and their debt collectors. Yes, Death is fixed. We just had to end the call and restart it. Yeah. It was probably on Discord, Zen. I don't know, because he sounded normal to me.
Discord's fucky.
Who fucking knows? We fixed it. That's all that matters.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing to worry yourself over just yet. I only ask that you drop by when you think of it. Perhaps buy something, and send them out on a search. That sort of thing.
I kind of want some ramen. No, I want some takoyaki. That's what I want.
Yeah. I think we should probably also wrap up soon.
I was about to say, I looked at the time, I was like, it's too late for takoyaki.
Yeah, alright. I'm heading into the wilderness to trade.
God.
Don't go letting the edge of your stall either.
Don't worry about us, bro. Alright. We should go over... There's a save... Yeah!
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. There we go. We found a save.
And that's not even all of Majima's styles. He still has the fast style to get.
What are you fucking looking at, dude? What the fuck do you want?
He's trying to bring you into his place, which is that pizzeria I got.
You get pizza here? I can't even go in, my guy. It's not even my...
Can't go.
Look, it's not me, it's the game. It's the game.
He's an NPC that he's a... What do you call him? A shouter, I guess?
I got a thing!
You found a phone card. Good job. You might want to save again because you saved before that.
I didn't realize that I was gonna find something.
Yeah. Okay.
What? Is your brother still parked behind me?
Alright.
Alright, I think that... My guy, I already told you, man. It's not me, it's the game.
Yeah.
I can't have your pizza, they won't let me. Yeah, I kind of want a snack. It's too late to order anything, so Wawa's the next best thing, but your fucking brother's parked behind me like a little shit.
Who are you raiding?
That's a really good question. I'm hoping he was just hangry because he was getting my fucking earlier.
I think I chose last time, so...
Who we got? Nyan is on. Nyan is playing Dice Folk. Does anybody know what the fuck that is?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, if you feel confident in moving his car, you're welcome to. Yeah, Nan is on, playing Dice Folk. Don't know what that is.
Yeah.
My buddy Remy is on, playing Dream Drop Distance. Kingdom Hearts.
Ooh.
Tim is on, playing, I think the new Dragon Ball game.
Okay.
Gwyneth is on, playing Star Ocean. Gerlina's
Nice.
on. She's playing some Coffee Talk.
Ooh.
Alright. Everybody seems to be like, okay, outside of like Dragon Ball and like Dream Drop Distance, everybody else seems to be playing like some really chill shit tonight.
Yeah.
Who haven't I raided in a while? I rarely get the opportunity to raid Gurlina.
Do it.
I rarely get the opportunity to raid her. I've been able to raid everybody else so far. Yeah, so we'll do that real quick. Hold on, let me open my thing. Get ready to raid. Alright, and that means you guys gotta hang out. So Gurlina can catch our love and affection and support and all that good stuff. Oh yeah, Coffee Talk episode 2.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about that game.
I have not heard of it at all, but I imagine it's some sort of story-based game.
Let me
Or
double check.
like
She might actually
some
be
kind of
getting
visual
off.
novel.
Yeah, it's like a visual novel. I also want to make sure she's not like getting the fuck off of here either, because that's what I mean. But like, I almost never catch her. They're fucking raiding out. Are you kidding me?
Oh.
Not me. No, cancel. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I didn't mean to do that.
I don't see the raid popping up on this end.
No.
So.
I accidentally touched. I accidentally touched my starting button, which like made everything that was already open twice.
Oh, okay.
Okay, then in that case. Oh, Horror Queen's also on playing some Amnesia. Oh, fuck that game. Fuck that game. That game is scary. And
Speaking of scary, we've still got another collab to plan.
Oh my god, we do.
Yeah.
Y'all want to watch me play a Silent Hill game? I've never played a Silent Hill game.
I've dabbled in Silent Hill, but I like
the aesthetic and I like the lore, but it's a scary game, so it's kind of like I've never played any of them. But they remastered the second
Silent
one.
Hill.
Yeah.
Silent Hill 2.
So I'm kind of like, maybe we should I don't know, would anybody be interested in watching me play a little scary shit? I mean, we did okay with Fatal Frame. All right. And in that case, you know what? Let's go watch Remy play some Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
And hit you guys with a raid message.
This car sings when you open the door.
It sings to
It
you.
goes do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. It does not have a push button start.
That's kind of lame.
And then, I was like, where's the button?
I thought that was pretty standard these days.
Yeah, I was like, where's the button?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like, is that a keyhole?
Keyhole. Alright, guys. We're gonna go give Remy some love. Death? What do you got going on the rest of the week? You don't have a lot of time, but tell people what you're doing.
Saturday is going to be 11 a.m. with Little Appleseed with more Horizon, and then 7 p.m. is hopefully going to be with you and Arcanon for Borderlands 3. And Sunday is going to be something different. We're going to be opening Pokemon cards with Trashy.
Oh, cool! Opening Pokemon cards. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing the Borderlands on Saturday, and then I'm gonna do a crafting art stream with Arcanon Sunday evening. That's about it. But yeah, you guys are gonna go hang out with my buddy Remy. Remy is actually really cool. He's not a VTuber like us, but he's a really cool guy.
He's not like us.
He's not like us. Look, I have no qualms with cam streamers. Okay, I'm not weird like that. All right, but I love you guys, and I'll see you Saturday. Bye.